how healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on, and how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month. And ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru
1 minute.
protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/
10 seconds.
your free gutter inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
There you go. Yeah. How we doing out there? And happy Monday to all my scallywags, nutmeggers, all across the fruited plain. You know what time it is. It's Reese on the radio. On WTIC News Talk 1080. I will tell you this. You can fade it all the way out. He put in the. It was supposed to be a shorter version of that. That's not your fault, Justin. Don't worry about that. I thought he had the shorter version, but he didn't. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's Reese on the radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Give up a round of applause to Roland, who is celebrating his birthday today, which, of course, there you go. A round of applause. I think he's like 28, 29, something like that. No, he's a little older than that. I don't even know how old Roland is. He's out celebrating his birthday with his family today. Justin is in the house. He doesn't talk all that much. I try to drag him in, but I always fail miserably when I try to bring him in to the convo. He is the constant professional on the program, but that's okay. I got plenty of news and plenty of views to get into today, and we will get to that. The boy's going back this week. The wife's got to drive him to the airport. I'm going to miss sending him off, which is, to be honest with you, I'm sick of driving. I've got a long drive coming up in a couple of weeks. I'm already not prepared for that. It's going to be at least 3 days. I'm not looking forward to it. So I'm hoping not to drive any long distance anytime. We do have to go see her cousin. That's going to be about a 2-hour drive. But I just don't feel like long drives right now. I'm trying to get myself ready for that long drive when we finally come to Connecticut. And what's really got me miffed about driving is the fact that this weekend, something happened that made me so mad. Because I feel like if things would have gone my way, if they had just happened the way that I wanted them to happen, the incident wouldn't have taken place. And I'm trying really, really hard not to be upset about it. But I am a little ticked off. I had a car accident on Saturday. And nothing real damaging happened. It was a fender bender. It was not my fault. The bozo who's responsible was a trembling, oh gosh, I felt worse for him than I did for my car. But he was trembling and he was so upset and so scared. And he had a young child in his pickup truck with him. I was more concerned about him frightening the little child that was in the truck with him, which I believe was his son, maybe his grandson, but the kid looked to be about, at best, 6 or 7 years old. Seemed like a nice enough kid. You know, I checked him and I said, hey, buddy, how you doing? You okay? He's like, yes, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, good. Because I'm nervous about him because the guy who's driving, who rear-ended us, and I can't say he rear-ended us in the sense of like, he went from his front end to my back end. That's not what happened. He was coming around me. He was coming around my driver's rear side and trying to get into the passing lane. And because he wouldn't wait for the light to turn green so I can move up and everybody can move up, he tried to inch his big, ridiculous truck in between me and the partition, and he ended up running into my rear back end, which he didn't tear off, but he moved it a little bit. You can see the white meat, as we like to say, on the vehicle. And when I saw it, I was ticked off. But I saw the guy when he got out of the car, and he was just a mess. He felt so awful, just so bad. He eliminated the opportunity for me to get angry. He took it away from me because I wanted to be mad. Not that I would have gotten into a road rage incident or anything like that. I just wanted to be mad. Why? Because that day was supposed to be me just doing some stuff for the car. So we have a lighting issue with the trailer we're going to bring, and the left signal's not working, and I was supposed to go down to U-Haul to go see if they could repair it since they were the ones who installed it, and I was going to do that. It was a fuse problem. I'll just go to the, one of the, auto body places, like Advanced Auto or Pep Boys or one of those places, and I would get the new fuse, and I would do that, but it would just be a me day. But the wife says, can I come? And of course, because she's got to come, so fine. Get her in the car, and then the accident happens. We're 7 minutes from the house, the accident happens. And then after we get all of our information, we drive off, and I've already got an 11:30 appointment. It is 11:07. I know it's going to take at least 10 minutes to get there from where we are. And then my wife says, can we stop and get breakfast? Ah! Sure, honey, absolutely. Where'd you like to stop? We can go to the drive-thru in McDonald's. Fine, no problem. We get to the McDonald's. The line's around the block. And I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just go inside. I go inside. No one's in there. I try to order. That's taking forever. People are standing in front of me, and they, like, it's like Murphy's Law. Everything that could possibly go wrong goes wrong. And it makes me late. And finally, I get there. Now, mind you, when I finally pull up to the U-Haul, it is 2 minutes until my appointment, to which I promised the guy I would be there early. I told him I would be there. I said, at 11:30 appointment, I'm going to be there early, so I want to be ready for you when you start. Well, sure enough, I get there 2 minutes later, and finally somebody walks in, and they get ahead of me, and they have to get a trailer, so that means I'm going to have to wait. So even though I got there on time, which I promised I would be there early, I ended up having to wait another 15, 20 minutes. Did you check the blinker fluid in the trailer? Shut up, Thomas. Chat room, you guys are a bunch of scallywags. Anyway, nonetheless, everything just went south. It just went south. And I'm ticked off. I'm ticked off. What made it worse was waking up this morning. And as I'm preparing for the show, I realized something about a lot of you folks, but you haven't been able to admit it. And I'm going to give you that opportunity to do it today. I woke up this morning listening to a bunch of people complain about not being able to get yours and my tax dollars to take care of their needs. I mean, screaming and hollering, and a bunch of people who are assisting them in doing it, politicians, from the Chris Murphys to the Ned Lamont, who I saw on his live feed on WFSB this weekend, talking about all of the people who are going to be suffering under the government shutdown, which prompted me to write my weekly piece in Substack about why do we have so many people dependent on the government? Why do we have a growing number of people who are dependent? And the worst part is that they're not even grateful. They aren't even grateful. All we get told is what we're supposed to do for them. Don't you care about them? Don't you think those people need help? What's wrong with you? My question is, what's wrong with them? I don't ever hear any campaign of those people saying to us, the American people who pay for all of those things, ever. Not one damn campaign from these NGOs or from anybody where they do a commercial where even in Spanish, these people come back and go, gracias, America. Grazie. Thank you so much for all you do for us. Paying for everything from our health insurance to our housing to our school. Thank you so much. Nothing. I hear zero, zilch. But I get all of the nonsense about what I'm supposed to give to these people. Over and over again. I'm done caring about these people. The worst part is I'm sick and tired of caring about fictional people. I heard someone talking about, what about the person who's been here for 15 years, who works in elderly care, who might be taking care of your grandmother? Who's this person? Can you introduce me to these people? And why is it that Democrats can always come up with these scenarios of people who don't exist and they swear that they're out there? That I have to give my hard-earned money to mythical features of people. I'm sick and tired of doing that. What about the person who's, doing, a job that Americans just won't do, and he's only trying to take care of his family? What about the person who's running away from his war-torn country? What war-torn country? Why is it they never mention the war-torn country? I don't hear them screaming and hollering, talking about people who are coming in from the, People's Republic of Congo. They're talking about somebody's coming from a South American, if not a Mexican country. But they're never a war-torn country. What war? Are they coming in from Venezuela? Is there a war going on there? No, they're just starving. Just say that. And is Tren de Aragua in the United States because they were starving? I doubt it. But I'm sick and tired of caring about them. I don't. They don't even have the audacity to say thank you. Not one. They won't say thank you. Can one person, just any of you, just say, thank you, America. Thank you for paying for us. I actually looked this up. I went to go find out the amount of money that illegals actually pay into the system. And I ain't talking about rent taxes. That don't count. If they pay rent, they have to pay taxes. And I ain't talking about sales tax. That don't count. If you buy something, you got to pay taxes. We're talking about the actual tax revenue they bring into Connecticut. And you want to know how much it is versus how much money they get in healthcare? Check this out. The number of taxes immigrants pay to the state of Connecticut, according to published reports, is $119 million. They'll tell you it's $409 million when you account for rental taxes and for sales tax. Now, think about the difference here. If you eliminate sales tax and rental tax, they only contribute $119 million to the state of Connecticut. Do you want to know how much they're contributing or being contributed to their health care? $100 million. So in essence, it's a wash. All they contribute is about $19 million. Is that worth it? No. No, it isn't. And they don't even tell us thank you for that. They don't even cut campaign commercials saying to those people when they're telling us that we have to spend more money on these folks, not even once have they bothered to put out an ad that says, maybe we should get these people to tell the American people thank you. So at least they are encouraged to help them, that there's a degree of gratitude. But no. Let me tell you, this is another thing. You want to hear something horrible? Here's the statistics that's going to make a lot of people mad. This is going to make them mad, folks. And I don't care. I don't care that it makes them mad. Because as I said in the beginning, I am sick and tired of paying for people who have showed no gratitude. I had to check this out. Somebody posted this, and I thought they were just being racist and bigoted. I was like, no, there's no way that that's true. So I had to look it up. And I actually did extensive research on it, and it's baffling. Let me begin by saying this. It is absolutely a fact that the African-American community is not the biggest recipient or the largest recipient of welfare in this country. That is a fact. African-Americans are not the largest recipients of welfare in this country by any means. They only take in 26%. African Americans make up 13% of the population. African Americans make up 13% of the population. They participate in 26% of the welfare in this country. They contribute 6% of taxes. Okay? Say it again. They make up 13% of the population. They take 26% of welfare benefits. They contribute 6% of taxes into the country. Again, I'm sick and tired of caring about people who don't have the gratitude to say thank you. I'm done. It's a joke. And the fact that no one even has the common decency to say thank you. You think that's bad? Try this on for size. This is an actual supercut that I saw this morning. Actually, I saw it last night. But I watched it again this morning. It made me even angrier.
Trump done cut no food stamps off. So they say 2 million is getting cut off this month for the scamps. I'm about to go find out if I'm in that number, in that ratio.
It's been day 5 and I have not received no food stamps. My disability checks is on hold. My cash benefits is not coming no more. They're still pending. It is the taxpayer's job to pay for my kids to eat and for my kids to be taken care of. I have over 2,000 followers on TikTok and I can't get not one person to send me 50 cents. If you're watching a video and you can't send me nothing, I'm blocking you.
Not even a thank you. Just entitled. All of them. Every one of them. Entitled. And the people who represented him, who represent them in Congress and in the Senate, every single one of them, they've never once told you thank you. They just say you got to do it. They'll cut a video all day. They'll be on the news all day. Never once has said, these are things that we have to support. These are things that we have to invest in. These are the things, they're your neighbors. They're your friends. Okay. Even my neighbor says thank you when he borrows the lawnmower. Even if he doesn't return it for months, he still says thank you. And never once have they thought about doing that. Name one. Name one. They would get us to at least consider it if one of those people instead of calling us fascists, how about stopping for a second and just turning around just going, look. Okay, I get it. We're clearly taking you folks for granted. Okay, and I understand that you want them out because they're obviously siphoning off every resource they possibly can. But these people need you, and they really, really thank you for doing all the work that you've done, for giving them the tax dollars that you've given them. They really are. Look at what they've done with your money. They truly are grateful. No! They're admonishing you for saying no more. Even knowing that you're frustrated, that you're angry, and you had enough, they haven't even turned around and said, we're sorry. F that. I've got no more time for people lecturing me about who these people are and what they need. And for those of you who are out there who are listening to my voice who say that you care so much about them, ask yourself, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be an extension of an olive branch to the rest of us just to say thank you or to be considerate? Just a little bit? Cut a damn commercial. You guys have got all the money in the world. The only thing that you're paying for is resistance. You say you want to tamp down the temperature? You want to get rid of the us versus them? Well, how about telling even your constituents, the people who are fighting for these people to stay, how about telling them thank you as well? Even after they've run through the streets and they've been arrested and been tear gassed and pepper sprayed by ICE agents, do you send them a thank you either? I doubt it, because you're all ungrateful. We'll take your phone calls when we get back. Stick around. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You're clear.
Asthma triggers are everywhere, from dust mites, pet dander, and pollen, to smog and smoke. An asthma attack can strike anywhere, anytime. Be prepared with quick-acting Primatene Mist. Clinically proven to open airways quickly. It's the #1 FDA-approved asthma inhaler available over the counter. Primatene Mist. Breathe easy again. Use as directed.
Uma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Uma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Uma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Nice. Find your business comm at uma.com/radio.
Fall is here, and the bees are buzzing. Keep your home cozy with a heating tune-up from Call the Bee. Your system will thank you when the cold nights roll in. Need something bigger? We've got you covered, with free estimates on HVAC replacements and financing options to make upgrading easy. Visit callthebee.com. That's calltheb.com to schedule. Call the Bee Connecticut. Plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical professionals. We'll be there, and we'll be fair.
We've heard it all before. Change is inevitable. Hi, I'm Sandy Terenzi with the Livian team. Whether you're right-sizing, downsizing, or handling a family estate, we're here to make it easy. Right, Mike?
Exactly. And with change often comes challenges. But with decades of local experience, we know how to price, market, and sell without the stress.
Trust the team Connecticut families have relied on for years. Call 860-855-SOLD today. That's 860-855-SOLD. And ask for me, Sandy Terenzi.
Baby, it's hot outside. But baby, it's going to be cold outside real soon. Say, come on into Campbell. When the weather's hot, you should be thinking cold. Before you start up that heat pump, boiler, or furnace, contact Campbell to get on their service short list. If Old Reliable's too old and not reliable, talk to Campbell about a Campbell custom upgrade to your system. Connect with Campbell today at campbellcooling.com. That's campbellcooling.com.
Campbell Cooling uses all major name brands, including American Standard and Mitsubishi heating and cooling equipment. Let our expert technicians heat your home this fall.
And now, a WTIC news update.
81 degrees at 2:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. High remains in the low 80s this afternoon, low around 60 tonight, high tomorrow around 80. A judge says the Trump administration still can't deploy National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. The White House tried to get around her initial order by using troops from out of state.
Federal judge in Oregon, appointed by President Trump during Trump's first term, ruled that you can't send out-of-state National Guard troops to Portland lawfully either. So it's not just the Oregon National Guard that she has blocked, but also the deployment of the California National Guard to Portland, or potentially the Texas National Guard to Portland. She refers to her earlier ruling in which she said it's unlawful to deploy the Guard in this way under these circumstances.
CBS's Scott McFarland. Illinois and the city of Chicago are also in court trying to keep National Guard troops out of Chicago. A fire over the weekend destroyed the home of a state judge in South Carolina. At least 3 people were injured. Judge Diane Goodstein last month blocked the state from giving its entire state voter database to the Trump administration. She was overruled by the state Supreme Court. On day 6, no progress reported on the government shutdown. CBS's Weijia Zhang.
Each side continues to blame the other one, continues to hope that the other side will somehow come around, but it's not as though they are having robust conversations to try to actually work out a deal.
As the White House threatens mass government layoffs. Trial underway in Bridgeport for Costa Diamantis, the former state budget official. Federal prosecutor says he used his position to accept bribes from school construction contractors. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 42 points, S&P climbing 33, the NASDAQ is up more than 200 points. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Sunny the rest of this afternoon and very warm for October, high 83. Tonight clear with an overnight low of 58. Tomorrow again very warm. Some sunshine followed by increasing clouds. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 81. Warm and humid tomorrow night. A couple of showers late at night, low 64. Not as warm on Wednesday. Periods of rain into early afternoon. The rain can lead to poor visibility and slow travel during the morning commute. Wednesday's high, 68. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
81 right now. Sports, the Boston Bruins will retire number 33 for Stanley Cup winning defenseman Zdeno Chara. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
We know that you want the best for your child. That's why you can trust our expert pediatric dentists here at Columbia Dental, who are trained to meet and handle your child's unique dental needs. Call Columbia Dental at 860-645-0111.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and can't afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. That's 800-536-9607.
More than a few patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy Pharmacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956.
10 seconds.
That's 800-930-5956 or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And that's kind of the day that I am having right now. And I couldn't stop thinking about it over the weekend. And this sort of compassion that I think is good for everyone to have. Don't get me wrong. I think we should always be considerate of what others are going through. Right? We have a saying, of course, in the rooms, there before the grace of God go I. Whatever it is I think I'm going through or whatever I think that person's going through, it could be far worse than it appears. And in that instant, when I got into the car accident, I was more concerned for him because he just seemed so nervous, so scared, so upset that I, in my own, which I could consider righteous anger, like I was put upon. I wanted to take that opportunity to be like, yeah, buddy, nice move. But saw the clear, it was a mistake. Of course it was. And I immediately recognized that. The world is so much better now that I don't drink. I'm telling you that. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. The world is a better place now that I don't drink. Because, again, my instinct was, damn it. Who wouldn't? You ever had, I'm sure any one of you have been in an accident that wasn't your fault or somebody, had an accident on you, so to speak. It's a natural reaction to be like, argh. And in that instant, I saw it, looked at it, and saw what the damage was. And something in me just went, it's not that bad. But there was the other part about me fighting. It was going, no, you could be angry that you have righteous indignation here, buddy. But then I saw him, man about my age, if not older, saw that he had a kid in the car, young man. And I just went, my softer side just prevailed. Oh, man, this is probably horrible for him, too. And then, of course, let me tell you this. Again, what really should have given me a license to be ticked off, a license, was when I looked at where his car hit mine, and he had so many scrapes and bumps and bruises on it, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find where my car had done any damage to him. It literally blended in. I didn't know where it was. There was no scar, no scrape, no nothing. And I kind of felt like he wasn't really affected by the incident. Only I was, which again, gave me license to be ticked off. Chose not to. What's more concerned is like, don't worry about it, buddy. Listen, it's okay, man. It happens. You doing okay? All right, take a deep breath. You're good. And I waited there with him as my wife got the information. I sent him a text message, gave him a call, said, hey, listen, here's my number, blah, blah, blah. We'll deal with it with our insurance. They'll give you a holler when necessary. You okay? Yeah. So the young man is like, what's the kid with you in the car, right? He's like, yeah. I was like, hey, young man, how are you? He goes, I'm fine. I'm like, you sure you okay? Yes, sir. Ugh. Completely melted. Fine, young man. I'm fine. Okay. Buddy, you okay? Shook his hand. The guy took my bumper and I shook his hand. Which again, and the reason why I say this, why am I even talking about this? Because here's the thing, and I'll get into this later, about this Jay Jones nonsense in Virginia, my former state, is that when you think about it, at the end of it all, no matter what we say or what they say about us, we always end up doing the right thing or having the right response, of just deciding to be good guys, just deciding to be decent folks. No matter how much they accuse us, of being haters. We always choose to be better because we're happier, we're calmer, we have good things going on for us, we have family, we have love, we have faith, all of those things. They learn so much after, like, if they get to know us. But the worst part is that they take that for granted. And they say the most evil things about who we are. I'll get into that in a minute. Let me get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. What's going on, Steve? Steve, are you there? Okay, maybe not.
Try me again.
Okay, let me see if I can get him now. Let's try one more time. Steve, are you there?
Hello?
Hey, Steve, what's
Can you
going
hear
on,
me?
sir? Yes, I can hear you fine. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, okay. No, I'm just saying the leftists, they're based on anger, jealousy, hatred, ungrateful, laziness, not wanting to work. You know, everybody's got to pay my bills. You know, poor me. You know, and it's just like, I don't know. Sometimes when I see people out bumming money, I let them know where the nearest temp agency is that they could work and make probably like $500 next week.
Right. But, you know, do you feel like I do that says, why is it that, and I'm surprised that no one ever brought it up, that no one has ever asked these folks, why hasn't anyone told us thank you? They keep telling us we need to pay, but why won't they say thank you for it? Because it is it's our tax dollars, it's our hard-earned money, you know, by telling us that we need to tax the rich or tax the wealthy more. Well, guess what? Even if we've done the job or we've done the thing that's made us all of this money that you wish to tax us for, why after you rob us, you never turn around and say, hey, by the way, thanks, man. You know, like, what would it cost you?
It's crazy. I do have one other comment to make.
What do you got?
You know, Donald Trump, he's going to be forced into declaring martial law. He should have done that just before he left on 2020 because he has the power and the right to do that. And if anybody is being an insurrectionist, it's the guys on the left. This is a color revolution. This is what communists do to take over the country, what they're doing. This is color revolution stuff.
Can I tell you, in the 3 o'clock hour, Steve, I don't want to, because I don't want to get ahead of this. In the 3 o'clock hour, and the stupidest thing I've read today, a famous actor and director makes your point. In fact, he literally lets the cat out of the bag on what's going to happen in November of next year. And it's absolutely astonishing because it was first said by Gavin Newsom, then it was repeated by Governor J.B. Pritzker. Now this actor and director is saying it as well, and I think I just figured out what's going to happen next year. And it will be exactly as you describe it, a color revolution that's indicative, I mean, literally carbon copy of the communist China.
Yeah, exactly.
You're 100% on point.
Exactly.
Thank you, man. You got it. Let's go to Mikey. What's going on, sir?
What's happening, Reese?
How are you?
So I'm listening to you talking about the immigrants, and even after you arbitrarily cut off rent tax and sales tax, they're still paying more into the system than they take out.
Well, I'm glad that you want to mention that because, again, those things are an arbitrary tax that you cannot you can't wiggle your way out of. They're baked in taxes, right? So I don't count anything that you can't avoid because the rest of us, if you really think about it, every other citizen has a tax that they have to pay, but they can wiggle out of that pays into the system. Yes?
I don't know how it's relevant. They're still paying in way more than they're taking out.
You're missing. No. Okay, you're saying you're having a problem finding out how it's relevant. So if I may push back on you on that question, because you don't see how it's relevant, does that mean it's not?
It means that I don't see a logical argument for it, and I haven't heard you make one. It doesn't mean that
I'm not making. Okay, so as far as a logical argument, here's what I'm trying to say. An unavoidable tax is not the same thing as the taxes other folks are paying. If you're paying rent and you're considering that a tax. And all I want to say is, do you pay rent, by the way?
Do I pay rent? Yeah.
Okay. Where are the taxes in your rent?
Where are they?
Yeah, it's an unavoidable tax. Where are the taxes in your rent? Let's say you're renting a house for $1,800 a month. Where's the taxes in your rent?
I have no idea.
There are none. There are none. That's the reason why I discounted them, because nobody pays $1,800 plus tax for their rent. So, do you see what? Okay, so just so wait, Mikey, so we understand each other. So again, I make this argument everywhere. So when I'm making an argument about something, please know I've already thought about it, because I paid rent in my life, and guess what? I have a home, so I pay a mortgage. I know exactly what I pay into anything. So when I'm asking the state, what do you mean by rent taxes? Everybody turns around. Nobody even bothered to even ask the question, how do you pay rent taxes? I'm not paying $1,800 a month plus tax. I'm just paying $1,800 a month. But guess what they're calling it? Guess what the tax is?
Sales tax? I don't know.
That's all the tax there are, sales tax. So if you shop, if you eat, if you go out to dinner, you're paying a tax there. But again, that's an unavoidable tax. So why did I excise that from my numbers? Because again, there's no such thing as a rent tax.
Well, there's sales tax.
Yeah, but a sales tax is unavoidable. Can you get out of paying a sales tax?
No, but Reese, the question is, are they a bigger drain on the system than what they pay in?
Yes.
They are not.
$19 million is the difference. And we're talking about health care.
Not if you include the sales tax.
Well, let's go one step. Okay, fine. Let's go one step further. How about this one? Let's go one step further. Now, if you know for a fact that they're paying $119 million in taxes, right? $119 million in taxes, and the state is giving them $100 million for health care benefits, and you also know that the state is paying $649 million in education. Even if they were pulling in the sales tax and the rent tax, we would still be paying them $200 million more. You don't think I did the numbers here?
Wait, hold on. You're saying that you're saying they pay $600 million to send them
one out of $1.3 billion the state paid towards illegal immigration. $649 million went to education.
Okay. Well, you didn't mention that number before.
Why would I do that? There's no, again, because we're talking about, I'm telling you, okay.
But where's the number from?
What do you mean? Where's what number from?
You just said they pay over $1 billion for illegal immigrants a year in this state.
No, that's the last number the state paid for illegals. And that's from Connecticut Insider, Connecticut Mirror, Hartford Current. Okay. That's from every place. And you can go look it up right now. $1.3 billion. Over $649 million went to education. Now, if let me finish. Even if they were contributing the whole $450 million out of that nonsense number that they were giving us before, we're still giving them another $200 million more than they put in.
So hold on, I got a question, and this is because I don't know. Out of that billion, are they saying that it's $1 billion in benefits, or are they counting law enforcement?
I don't know what they're counting it for. All I know is it's $600 million, 649 to be exact. 649 is going to education alone.
Okay, but the other money we don't know.
No, I'm thinking his breakdown, but I don't have that in front of me. I just knew that number because I found that to be astonishing. That's almost more than half going straight to education.
All right, so I'm gonna look into it because I know nationally they pay more in than they take out.
Well, that may be the case, but remember, if they're counting for numbers like sales tax, that don't count. And I looked at those numbers. No, it doesn't.
Well, there's no federal sales tax anyway.
Yes, there's no federal sales tax, but there is a state sales tax. But again, you can't avoid it. It's not like they could weasel out of paying sales taxes.
Well, the question isn't about their honesty. The question is about, are they a drain on the system?
Yes, a drain on the system because, again, only thing you're saying here is, let's go this route. If they are getting public benefits and they go shopping with said public benefits and they're paying a sales tax, are you telling me they're contributing more than what they're getting?
If they're using their food stamps to pay the tax, you mean?
No. If they are, first of all, they're getting subsidized far more than just food stamps. If they are getting, I'm being clear. If they are being subsidized and that money is paying towards the things that they purchase, be it clothes, be it food, whatever the case may be, whatever they're paying in or what they're given, are they paying or are they contributing the same amounts in sales tax? The answer would be no.
Okay.
Because if I provide them with $1, if I provide them with $1 and they're paying $1.08 in taxes, right? $1 plus 8 cents in taxes. The only thing that they're contributing back to the dollar I gave them is 8 cents.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my methodology.
Okay, but do we know that that's the way that the methodology of the people who stack up the numbers you have?
No, I did the numbers myself, and it's real simple. They don't pay in more. They don't pay in more than we give them, is what I'm saying. That's the only point.
Okay. Yeah,
but
what I'm saying is, on a national level, I know that they
I'm not
pay
talking.
in more than they take
Okay,
out.
well, you can make that argument nationally, but I'm not making an argument nationally. I'm talking about Connecticut.
But on the state level, I'm wondering the methodology that you're using. If you're saying that if they get $1, say if they get all their money from the state and they'll go spend it, and then that is the money counting toward the sales tax, then of course they're not contributing. But I don't know if that's the methodology of the people that are taking the numbers down.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but okay. That sounds like a different argument. But anyway, I'll make my point in a minute. Thank you, man. I got to take a break. We'll be back. More news, more views. We'll take more of your phone calls when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Jerry Puya from Between.
You're clear.
Sandwich Cafe. For over 35 years, my brother Joe and I have been fortunate to have the communities we serve support us. We want to give back to those communities. We are partnering with Connecticut Food Share to reduce food insecurity here in Connecticut. For every Becca breakfast sandwich we sell, Between Rounds will donate 50 cents to Connecticut Food Share. The Between Rounds Becca is bacon, egg, cheese, Hellman's Chipotle mayo, and avocado served on a bagel, roll, wrap, or to make it exceptional, a croissant. If you come in groggy and order this sandwich, you will leave happy and enjoy the feeling of helping others. Order the Between Rounds Becca today. It will put you in a good mood. Between Rounds Bakery Sandwich Cafe in Vernon, Manchester, South Windsor, East Windsor, and Tolland. We'd love to see you. Visit BetweenRoundsBagels.com for franchise information and to order online.
Bagel Deli and Bakery. Between Rounds. Between Rounds. Between Rounds.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing anything.
Jason, dude, you are saying exactly what I was trying to express. You're 100% right. If I'm providing you with every dollar that you spend and you're paying sales taxes, I'm paying double.
Your own body. That's right. Whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations most likely near you, Avon, New Haven, and Glastonbury. And like I said, that first consultation, totally free, risk-free. QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN.
1 minute.
You deserve more than what the insurance company
Thank
offers
you.
you or thinks you're worth. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. People who hire an attorney get 3 times more on average compared to what big insurance offers them. Their job is to get you to take less. Ours is to get you more. If you've been injured, call the Carter Mario Law Firm at 877-GET-CARTER or head to getcarter.com to get more.
When you drive around and look at the homes in your area, you'll see all those roofs with ugly algae streaks. Those roofs look old before their time. But with Atlas Roofing, featuring Scotchgard Protector, your roof stays beautiful, clean, and streak-free. It's the Peter L. Brown Company's 65th anniversary, and we would like you to get a roof
10 seconds.
year after year. For a free estimate for roofing, siding, windows, and doors, go to peterlbrown.com.
Peter L. Brown, we do it right the first time.
It's Reese on the Radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Jason's in the chat room made a very, very great point. And it is really, really simple, right? If a person is subsidized with tax dollars, and they then spend that tax dollars. If I subsidize Jason with my tax dollars, every dime he spends is taxpayer money, not his own. He's got taxpayers' money in there. He then buys stuff, and they're now counting that as a contribution to the tax or to taxes coming in. That is the definition of nonsense economics. It is ridiculous. Tom Vilsack tried the same thing back in the Obama administration when he said that every dollar that goes into food stamps brings $2 to $3 back into the economy. That doesn't make any sense. And these people have been trying that stupid math for the longest. If I provide you with, and I get this idea that, what about the jobs that they have? Well, let's talk about the jobs that they have. Are they being paid off the books? Yes, they are. So what are you accounting for? They have no means to or to back check any of the finances that they have. The only means of their spending is through taxpayer dollars, the money that we provide to them. So they take money off the dole and then they pay into the system. You're counting that money twice. Remember, you might remember this argument. I'll go this way. It's the big argument people have about capital gains taxes. And that is, your salary is taxed. And then after your salary is taxed, you take your salary, taxed salary, and then put it in the stock market and invest with your already taxed dollars. And if that money grows and you wish to remove it, it is then taxed again. And as many people say, that is being taxed twice. And in counting it twice, as it should be, taxable income has already happened. What I do with it thereafter is my own business. But they are treating it like you would if you went to a casino. You run the risk, you have to be taxed for actually benefiting from said risk. So my question is this. If a person who's getting tax dollars from me, right, he's getting tax dollars from me, then spends that money and it is taxed, how are you going to call that a contribution by said recipient of tax dollars? That's not the case. That's not what's happening. And so to call that as some sort of net contribution, it isn't. It's just literally circling the money right back to government. Does the word slush fund sound familiar? And let's forget about the money that they are also given where part of it goes back to their country of origin. Because that happens because it happens with the wages that they make at their jobs. They send half their salary, sometimes just a third of it, back to their country of origin. That's a fact. We all know that. So this counting is like, well, they are contributing. How? How were they contributing? They created nothing, no wealth at all. They're just siphoning off the rest of us. And which brings me to the point is, just say thank you. That's all. Please stop trying to mesmerize us with your fancy math. That makes no sense. You have a subsidized lifestyle that you then pay back into the system. You're only delaying the process of my tax dollars getting back into the coffers of government. That's all. You just circumvented the whole process. That's it. So that's the point that I was trying to make. And bigger than that, how about just thank you? Can you say thank you? Instead of making all these proclamations in the chat room, can you say thank you? Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. When we come back, we've got headlines. We'll also talk about this Jay Jones text scandal in Virginia, my former state. And we'll break that down and what you need to understand about that. Let's get to the newsroom. Dave Mager, he's in from John Silva in today. We'll be back. It's Reese on the Radio.
WTIC is celebrating
You're clear.
100 years on the air. and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
82 degrees at 3. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Low around 60 tonight, high tomorrow around 80, and continued dry. It's a big week in Hartford. The marathon is Saturday. Mayor Arunan Arulapalam says it means many millions for the local economy.
But I get texts from coffee shops and restaurants about how, marathon weekend can really make their margins for the month. For our small businesses, it's huge. And so there's the gross economic impact. There's also just the impact it has on our small businesses that see a huge influx of new folks checking them out and buying their stuff.
The Hartford Marathon and all the events that go with it starts Saturday morning. The mayor says he is likely to run the 5K himself. No progress reported on the government shutdown 6 days in.
Leaders were fanned out across the airwaves over the weekend, talking to the media, articulating their positions, but they're really not talking to each other. Each side arguing that their parameters are made clear and one side or the other has to blink.
CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns. Democrats, including Senator Richard Blumenthal, are looking to extend federal health care subsidies to hold down insurance premiums under the Affordable Care Act.
We are insisting, in fact demanding, that the subsidies for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act be extended now, right away, not at some distant point on the horizon.
The White House is clarifying President Trump's remarks yesterday about firing federal workers. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt says he was talking about furloughs, which are ongoing. Illinois and the city of Chicago are suing to prevent the Trump administration from sending National Guard troops to Chicago. The suit comes just hours after a judge blocked their deployment to Portland, Oregon, which the president falsely describes as a war zone. Trial underway in Bridgeport for Costa Diamantis, the former state budget official accused of accepting bribes for school construction contracts. First witness, the defendant's former brother-in-law, a contractor who says Diamantis promised his company could get valuable work without submitting a bid. Israel and Hamas in indirect Gaza peace talks in Egypt.
The Israeli delegation includes officials from the Mossad and Shin Bet, although chief negotiator Ron Dermer is only expected to join later this week. The Hamas delegation is led by chief negotiator Khalil al-Hayya, who was one of the targets of Israel's failed assassination attempt in Qatar almost a month ago. If a deal is reached, Hamas will free all remaining hostages within 72 hours, and Israel will release hundreds of Hamas prisoners.
CBS's Linda Gradstein reporting in Indianapolis. Former Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez now facing a felony charge of battery in the weekend fight that wound up with him getting stabbed. Police say a drunken Sanchez accosted the driver of a box truck backed into a hotel loading dock.
According to an affidavit obtained by CBS News, the 69-year-old driver, identified only as PT, told police while he was at a loading dock working, he was approached by Sanchez, who tried to stop what he was doing. Then he said Sanchez began harassing him and physically attacked him. Allegedly fearing for his life, the driver said he stabbed Sanchez multiple times. The driver also said Sanchez, quote, smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred.
CBS's Scott McFarland. Sanchez survived the stabbing. He faces several other charges, all misdemeanors. On Wall Street, the Dow down 72 points. S&P is up 29. The NASDAQ is up 194. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Sunny the rest of this afternoon and very warm for October. High 83. Tonight clear with an overnight low of 58. Tomorrow again very warm. Some sunshine followed by increasing clouds. Breezy tomorrow afternoon. High 81. Warm and humid tomorrow night. A couple of showers late at night. Low 64. Not as warm on Wednesday. Periods of rain into early afternoon. The rain can lead to poor visibility and slow travel during the morning commute. Wednesday's high 68. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Now 82 degrees and sunny. Sports, the baseball playoffs, game 2 of the best-of-5 series. Dodgers in Philly, the Cubs at Milwaukee, and Monday Night Football, Kansas City at Jacksonville. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Life unfolds in ways you can never quite expect. A divorce, a death in the family, a personal injury. Each time you are left searching for someone new to trust. But what if you had a full-service law firm that knows you and a firm that can represent all your legal needs? With BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a full-service law firm. Visit bpslawyers.com. BPS Lawyers, your lawyers for life. Proud full-service law partner of Yukon Athletics. Nick Payne-Dearis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail with dinner, and losing weight. That's the power of Awaken 180, a weight loss program that teaches you how to eat for your body without giving up what you love. No medications, no gimmicks. With Awaken 180, you get personalized coaching, lifetime support, and results guaranteed in the first week. Finally, a program that makes sense and creates lasting change. To kickstart your transformation, visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. And
1 minute.
Oh, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
If you're still waiting for a sign, here's another one. At California Psychics, we reject 98% of the psychics who apply to work for us. So we only connect you with the best. That's how we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. And right now, new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. If that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
10 seconds.
Sound effect incoming. Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Okay, I guess we're just ready. We're back. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. Let me read a couple of comments in the chat room for those of you who listen in your car or in your office or even in your home. I know some people do some chores around the house listening to the show, and we love you as well for always listening to the program. So people are rambling on about a whole bunch of things that have nothing to do with the topic in mind. But if you missed the opening monologue, that may be the reason why. If you come in late, you immediately start chiming in about stuff that you don't get. And it's like, oh, I don't get what he's saying here. You got to come in early. That's what the opening monologue is about. All right? Show starts at 2. Show starts at 2. So don't opine about stuff you don't recognize or you don't understand. But I'm here to help you. I don't mind recapping. That's also why we do what happened was at 5:30. So let me break it down for you so people who can understand. 1, if you don't understand how benefits work, then maybe perhaps you should get out of the conversation. You're looking at tax dollars going into the pockets of what you consider are the indigent or people in need who are, can't get a job, perhaps need health care, need food, can't get a job, poorly educated outside of the workforce. Understood. May have other disabilities. Completely understood. But there are people who are fleecing the system. There are people who came into the country recently, and you know who they are. Because if you were paying attention, you saw how many times we reported on people coming in on their EBTs with $13,000, $14,000, $16,000 on there, when actual citizens who had been on the dole for quite some time in other neighborhoods could never see that kind of money being put inside an EBT card. You know it was there. And turning it now into some sort of despicable claim of how much disrespect we have for immigrants. Nobody has any disrespect for immigrants. Immigrants come through this country all the time. Immigrants come into this country and they are fantastic contributors to our society. They have made our country a better place. What you are conflating are bums. That's the problem that you have. Because you think all immigrants are alike. You see them as one big happy blanket. If they're an immigrant and they're fleecing for the rest of our tax dollars, they just deserve them. And any sort of pushback on the abuse that those people have been clearly showing us, and we've seen them. We've seen plenty of reports about it. Because you've ignored them and you won't pay attention to them, I don't care if you've ignored them. I don't care. The rest of us have. The rest of us have got some skin in the game. So pardon us while we bring attention to that. Did you see the stories about the 5-star hotel rooms that they were given, where they were trashing the food, where they were given through your tax dollars because it wasn't ethnically diverse enough for them, even though they were giving a free ride staying in a hotel that you could never afford in New York City? Huh? How about people who were up in the tents at Randall Park near the Bronx, were inside? They were given PlayStation 5s. How long were you on a waiting list for a PlayStation 5? These folks, all they had to do was cross the border illegally, and they were given PlayStation 5s inside their little camps for their children to play. They were just given to them. These folks are given goodie bags. Why? And out of your tax dollars. And never once did anybody turn around and say, we'd like to thank the American people. I watched a video today of a woman in Spanish complaining about the free food she was getting while she was staying for free in a plush hotel. I see these people do anything and everything inside the communities, from run sex trafficking rings to drug trafficking rings to just plain old criminality, completely terrorizing these communities that they've been put in. And never once has anyone said, thank you, America. They also have the nerve that when you interview them, and many people have, to call this country a hateful, racist place while they eat off of our plates. And what you have the audacity to tell me is we are disrespecting the immigrants? I've got one thing to say to any one of you. Imagine you had been treated like that in your own home. Because your home is sacred. You would lose your minds if it happened in your home. But then again, you probably have no respect for this country. You believe that everybody out of every other place around the world can come into this country and take a big, fat, steaming dump on it because you hate this place. But you're the type of folks that would sit by, eat popcorn while the country burned to the ground and think you were benefiting from it because you're petty and silly. So while the rest of us who've invested something in this country, who give a damn about it, who do not want to see it burned to the ground, let us vex. You, seriously, step aside. Don't, in fact, criticize us if you must. But please, we don't care. We don't care what you think about what discussion we're having here. Oh, disrespect to God. Did you come into this country and put your kids through school? Are they contributing to our society? Good on you. Now, if you came into this country and you contribute, if you came into this country and you raise kids in there and they are contributing, if you've never been on the dole and you actually rose to the occasion and became an American, a real American who actually put skin in the game, join the rest of us. And if not, step aside, back away. You can rabble-rouse all you want, but don't tell us how we're supposed to behave. And don't think we're going to fall for the old banana in the tailpipe about how disrespectful we are. You don't want this fight. You don't want to be a part of it. You want these people to take a big, steaming, piley one right on the country. You are applauding that. You can't wait until America gets its comeuppance. Fine. That's okay. We don't need you. We never did. We're not looking for your support. We haven't even begged for your support. Normally, we would tell you to just shut up and we'll take up. Take up for our country. But no. You can keep talking. We'll realize the more that you open your mouth, the sillier you'll look. The sillier you'll sound. But please, we're not falling for that game. Just so everybody understands. Nobody cares. And this nonsense about empathy. For what? Empathy for what? For bums? I've got no empathy for a bum. I don't. And that's the part that you're not understanding. And you know that they're out there. Now, if there's somebody who's coming into the country that's on the dole, that's contributing and saying, I got to get off the dole, I got to make sure that I contribute to the country that is hosting me, that when I come in, I make sure that I make this the greatest country ever, that the reason why I trekked so long to get here is to make something of myself and to become an American citizen, that I have pride for the country, that I navigated thousands of miles to get to. Hell, we applaud you. But if you came here to see, oh, they giving out free stuff, you're a bum. And we need to start calling them out as bums. If you want to call them patriots, that's your business. But the rest of us are not falling for that nonsense. They are bums. They are leeches. That's what they are. And you know who they are. And the people who wish to give our tax dollars to them, again, don't have the decency to turn around and say to us, while they take our money, and I mean take our money, and give it to those people, by the way, without our permission, without our consent, and tell us when we say something about it that we're just a bunch of racists and xenophobes, while they take our money and fund these folks, and then tell us don't say anything about it, stand by. At least we have the decency to say, if you disagree with us, chime in. But we speak up and we say, look, we've had enough of being used and abused and taken advantage of. And you tell us, for our trouble and all the money that we give, shut up, you racist bigot. And you think that we're supposed to take kindly to that? We're just going to sit by and just go, yeah, take more. Slap me in the face. I'll have another. I don't care who it is. And this is not a conversation with just about immigrants or illegals in the country. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with all bums. All bums. And you know who they are. You see them on the videos all the time, coming from Costco after using them with their big, giant cases of grape Kool-Aid. Angry at the fact that their food stamps are being cut off. They're going to cut off our food stamps. They're going to cut off everything. You're supposed to be taking care of us. Not even a thank you. They don't even bother to beg. So forgive me if I don't care. I've had enough. Ugh, and it only takes a minute. Okay, let me tell you what Jesus would do. Jesus would say, hey, there's some water over there. There's fish in it. What do you think? Jesus was going to keep walking out on the water and bring back the fish for everybody? You think that's what Jesus would do? Do you think Jesus would just keep going out there or just make the fish just fly out of the water and just put it on everybody's plate? Is that what Jesus would do? Please don't bring in Jesus. Please don't. None of you know Jesus. And if you did, you wouldn't recognize him. You know nothing about Jesus. And please, this isn't about Jesus. This isn't about religion. This is about common sense. It just is. Now let's get the headlines. A Connecticut mom is in prison now. She's accused of poisoning her estranged husband with antifreeze as the pair was locked in a bitter custody battle over their children. Kristen Hogan, 33 years old, was arrested in Ridgefield and charged with 2 counts of attempted murder and 1 count of interfering with an officer on Friday, according to documents released by the Connecticut State Police. Hogan allegedly poisoned wine and iced tea at her estranged husband's home with ethylene glycol, the main ingredient in antifreeze. Her husband, who was not named in court documents, drank a small amount of wine stored in his fridge. That's a crime in and of itself. On August 10th, but he soon realized that something was wrong after repeatedly waking up sick throughout the night. The next day, he continued to vomit and feel ill, so he called his father, who advised him to have his mother, who was nearby, check on him. His mother arrived and found him slurring his words, staggering, and vomiting, then immediately rushed him to the hospital. At the hospital, doctors initially suspected a stroke, but after monitoring his symptoms and identified the signs that he had ethylene glycol poisoning. Detectives seized the wine and submitted it to the Connecticut Forensic Laboratory, where it tested positive for ethylene glycol. Investigators also found that Hogan's, the woman's, cell phone contained searches for several toxic substances, including potassium cyanide and methoethylene glycol, as well as questions about, quote, how much of these substances would kill you. I just take a deal, my dear. I just take a deal. I would just take the deal. In a shakeup that we'll be watching very closely, Paramount has purchased the Free Press, previously owned by New York Times columnist Barry Weiss, for $150 million, and has named Weiss as editor-in-chief of CBS News. Barry Weiss has been a recent champion of removing bias from the mainstream legacy media for years now. It'll be interesting to see what changes happen in the coming weeks, because you know that, after that whole debacle with the paying the $16 million to the Trump administration for the Kamala Harris 60 Minutes debacle, that now with Barry Weiss in charge, that there's going to be some editorial changes in the newsroom. So people are expecting there to be sort of a fair and balanced approach to CBS News with Barry Weiss at the helm. People at Paramount are crazy. CBS is a little worried about what she's going to do there as well. Congratulations to Rosie O'Donnell. You're probably saying to yourself, what? Rosie O'Donnell has revealed that she is applying for Irish citizenship after living in a self-imposed exile in the country since the beginning of the year in protest over Donald Trump's second administration. So good luck to you, Rosie. We're happy for you. And now let's get to the stupidest thing I've read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
Stupidest thing I read today comes out of MSNBC and Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner, of course, the famed actor and director from All in the Family and When Harry Met Sally, and, of course, countless others. Rob Reiner was on with that guy Vesci, whatever his name is, and he gave up the goods. And the reason why I say it's the stupidest thing I read today, he said that the United States only has 1 year before it's turning into an full-on autocracy. And he says that Donald Trump will attempt to steal the midterm elections. But listen close, because the phone call that we had earlier is exactly what Rob Reiner is saying here. And I'm hoping you can catch it. Listen close.
Make no mistake, we have a year before this country becomes a full-on autocracy and democracy completely leaves us. And we're looking at the election in 2026, and Donald Trump knows. He knows that in a free and fair election, he will lose. He will lose the House. The House will flip and will become into Democratic hands. There'll be committee chairs that'll be able to hold hearings, and this is the last thing he wants. These ICE agents and the National Guard, and now he's called the military in from all over the world. Don't be surprised when polling booths are surrounded by American military.
Now, think about that. Polling places surrounded by military to make sure that the election is on the up and up. Now, here's the thing that Lori says, meathead. Listen to what Rob Reiner says here. Now, remember, if the guard is there, standing at polling places, what does that mean? Well, it will more than likely mean that illegals won't show up at polling places. That's without a doubt. But see, as Democrats like to do, and I said this to you last week, they hand you their playbook. They tell you what they're going to do. And he gives it up right here. Listen to what he says.
The guise of making sure that the elections are fair and that nobody's tampering with anything. And when you see violence breaking out, which there'll be protests, there'll be inciting violence, There'll be some violence, and they'll keep back. Then you'll see the commandeering of voting machines, ballot boxes, to make sure that that election is secure.
Now think about that. Because the ICE agents are there, because the military is there, Rob Reiner says that there will be protests. There will be violent protests, he says, which will give Donald Trump the authority to then completely wrap the thing up in martial law. So he doesn't say, like, remember, it's not going to be the military out there just grabbing folks and starting fights with them. Rob Reiner knows that the mere presence of military, the mere presence of ICE being there, that the radicals will go out there and start the fight. And then Donald Trump. Now, how do we avoid that happening? It's real simple. You simply tell your rabble-rousers, your Soros-funded, crowd-sourced groups that are out there, you simply say one thing. Hey, don't do that. That's going to give Donald Trump license to shut it all down and steal the election. Don't agitate them. That's all you have to do. But Rob Reiner's saying here they're not. They're going to do the thing that will make Donald Trump do the thing. And he's not shy about pointing out there are going to be violent protests. By whom? It clearly won't be by the military. It won't be by the ICE agents. It will be by his folks. And they gave it up. Just like you heard. Gavin Newsom said it, that there's going to be ICE agents at polling places. Why would there be? To make sure that illegals don't come in. That's going to hurt them. If illegals can't come in and vote, if illegals are afraid to come to the polling places, no way for them to win. California, Illinois, it's a wrap. That's exactly what it's almost like, they're telling you what they're going to do. I would take them at their word. That's what I would do. I would take them at the word. That's why I said stupidest thing I read today. Why would you give it up like that? Because I would be on the watchful eye. Does this mean that these knuckleheads are going to stand down? Are they actually going to give Donald Trump the thing that everybody says he wants in the first place? Martial law. If you ask me, I don't think that they can contain themselves. We'll get into that later, too, because if you remember, folks, we were told we were supposed to be afraid of this authoritarian regime. But I got one question. Does it look like these people are afraid? You've seen the video. Does it look like they're scared? I doubt it. We'll be back. We'll take your phone calls, too. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS.
You're clear.
Afraid to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Comcast Business can help turn your small business into a connected, secure, modern business. It's how retailers become constantly connecting must-visit shops. How restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How healthcare offices become the data-protecting caregivers that we all depend on. And how wealth management firms become cyber-securing guardians of your information. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, and Wi-Fi backup, your business can stay connected and get threat-ready with Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get started with our reliable business internet. Plus, stay connected when you add Wi-Fi backup for just $35 a month and ask about a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Wireless Connect requires business internet for additional monthly charge. Taxes and other fees extra. Prepaid card offer ends 11/16/25.
And now, a WTIC news update.
82 degrees in Hartford at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Low around 60 tonight, high tomorrow around 80, and dry again. Illinois and the city of Chicago are in court trying to bar the Trump administration from sending National Guard troops to Chicago.
Attorney General Kwame Raoul and the city of Chicago are now suing President Trump to stop the National Guard from coming to Illinois. The AG is asking for a temporary restraining order. He calls this deployment unlawful, saying it'll cause additional unrest, mistrust of police, and harm to our economy.
CBS Chicago's Lauren Victory. The suit comes after a judge for a second time blocked the deployment of troops to Portland, Oregon. Nothing new in the continued government shutdown. The White House now says President Trump was talking about ongoing furloughs when he mentioned firing government workers yesterday. But as CBS's Weijia Zhang reports, plans for mass layoffs have been in the works.
The White House does not have an exact timeline for when mass firings of federal workers could start happening. But we do know that even before this shutdown happened, the Office of Management and Budget directed agencies to start putting those plans together.
Trial underway in Bridgeport for Costa Diamantis, the former state budget official. The federal prosecutor says he used his position to accept bribes from school construction contractors. Partial human remains were found in Mansfield Hollow State Park yesterday. Deep says they were found in a lake. State police are investigating. Wall Street, the Dow down 83 points, S&P climbing 25, the NASDAQ up 179. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Temperatures will continue to run well above historical average through tomorrow. Sunny the rest of this afternoon, high 83. Tonight clear, low 58. Again, very warm tomorrow. Some sun giving way to clouds, becoming breezy, high 81. Warm and humid tomorrow night. Some late night showers, low 64. Not as warm Wednesday, mostly cloudy with periods of rain, at least through early afternoon. Wednesday's high 68 degrees. Back to dry weather and cooler weather on Thursday. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
82 degrees now. Sports, baseball playoffs, game 2, Dodgers at Philadelphia, Cubs in Milwaukee. Monday night football, Kansas City at Jacksonville. Boston Bruins announced they will retire number 33 for Stanley Cup winning defenseman and captain Zdeno Chara. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
More than a few of our patients have talked to me about their first time, but it's not the first time you're probably thinking about. It's the first time that erectile dysfunction ruined the moment. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're over 50, it's likely that you've had that first time yourself. But the good news is that if you're like most men, that first time can be the last time that ED impacts your sex life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men using protocols with success rates well over 90%. And those treatments, in most cases, have made sex great again for both them and their partners. You could even find that you're performing like you haven't in years. So if ED has been affecting your intimacy, it's time to make the last time that happens the last time that happens. For just $99, you'll receive blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you. Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000, and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief. You're listening to Leaf Filter
1 minute.
And the guru of gutter protection himself,
Thank you,
Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal.
10 seconds.
Inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's
Man, it goes
leaffilter.com/deal
by
for
so
up to
damn fast.
30% off.
It does.
.com/deal. See representative for warranty details.
Oh, hold still. This is only gonna hurt a little. It's Reese on the radio on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Programming note, folks, tomorrow is October 7th, and at number 3 Primrose Street in Newtown, Connecticut at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, October 7th, Newtown, Connecticut at 3 Primrose Street, 7 p.m. That is going to be the Board of Education meeting. Now, why am I mentioning it? You might remember that we talked on this program to Wendy, who is one of our great supporters here in the chat room most of the time. She told us about the Newtown Allies for Change. There will be plenty of people there and opportunity there to talk about the current state of this organization, Newtown Allies for Change. People are upset about it. People are upset about the behavior of this group, what they've done to the community, what they've done to individuals, in their business owners and the like. A lot of people are referring to them as sort of a mafia, if you will, an organized crime family in some cases, in the bullying tactics that they have inflicted on many of the residents in Newtown about racial equity. But they've done nothing more than spread more and more racism, according to the families that have been outspoken about it. So tomorrow at 7 p.m., community leaders, members of the community of Newtown, if you have been affected, want an opportunity to speak up about this, you need to go to this meeting. It happens tomorrow at number 3 Primrose Street in Newtown, Connecticut at 7 p.m. That zip code, by the way, is 06470. If you're looking, we're going to put it in your GPS. So tomorrow at 7 p.m., please do that. I will be talking to whomever's available to talk about the meeting thereafter. So I'll coordinate with you. Wendy, if you're there, I'll talk to you as well. And we'll see if we can get you on the show. If not, maybe we'll get Kathleen back as well to talk about it. Let's get to the phones. 860-522-WTIC. Thanks for holding. Bob in New Haven. What's up, sir?
Oh.
Hey, Bob. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect. What's up, sir?
What's going on with this Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens? Because there are some things that seem sketchy about that whole situation, but no one seems to be talking about it.
Can I tell you why that I don't think that they're talking about it? And this is something that has irritated me for a bit now. We've had, over the last year so far, I can even go so far as to say within the last year and a half, we have had a lot of revelations in our body politics and in government. We're finding more and more information about things that we have been lied about, conspiracies that have now proven to be true. And now what I believe is happening is what's called a conspiracy culture, where everything is under the scrutiny of a conspiracy. No matter what the event is, it's never just the event. There's something mysterious behind it. And it is this, I want to say, a zeitgeist that has sort of become our, not even politics, I think socially, that nothing is what it is. Somebody says they're getting married. Well, there's a secret story behind that. Charlie Kirk's assassination, but there was a picture of him here, and he was wearing different clothing. And was the bullet, did it really stop inside the entry wound? It's a whole bunch of stuff where people are marketing off of it and getting paid off of it. And I want no parts of it. As soon as, and even Courtney, you guys remember a couple of weeks ago, she called up here and was trying to make an Epstein association with Charlie Kirk's death. And I'm like, nope, not going there. And of course, that quickly died So what you're seeing is sort of a byproduct of that zeitgeist.
Yeah, and people are ridiculing Candace Owens, and there's some things I look at her and I try to look at it with an open mind and say, I don't think it's crazy asking for a full investigation, or was there other people, or they already seem like they had this guy in jail, locked away, and getting the death penalty. And
Yeah, but there's, again, but listen, there is, and I've said this a long time ago. I've got nothing against Candace Owen and her hustle. I'm nothing like her. People have tried to go like, oh, you're like a Candace Owen. I'm like, I've been doing this before Candace. Candace just recently became a Republican. I've been a Republican since I was 10. That's over 40 years now. So I'm not this person to just go along and get along just because this one's that one. I don't care about people like Candace Owens because she's got her hustle, and it is absolutely immaterial to mine. So if that's how people are interested in her, or she's got, listen, if her stuff turns out to be true, God bless her, applaud her, thank you for bringing to it. But I'm just not, it's not my cup of tea. That's all.
Gotcha. Thank you.
You got it, boss. Thank you. I appreciate you holding, by the way. Let's go to, you know what? Let's get this out of the way. Yes, Bob, how are you?
Yes, hello, Reese. Yeah, I'm glad that you, thank you for picking up my call. Yeah, you were mentioning about the Bible. It's a lot of people don't, want to stick their neck out because otherwise people think you're crazy when you mention that. But if you don't mind, can I recommend a verse that people could read?
I didn't say anything about the Bible. I just said, please stop injecting Jesus Christ into my diatribe, saying, what would Jesus do?
But there's a verse in Genesis, if you don't mind, 19.22, and there's a verse 22 through 33, and and there's a city called Sodom, Sodom, and the Lord, I'm not no royal, whatever, but it seems the Lord asked Abraham to do something, to go to a city not sodomy, Sodom, happened to be wherever it was. I don't know the zip code, or I don't think there was one back then.
I can't. Hello, Ralph. How are you, sir?
Hanging in there. I have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
First one, Reese, what do you think would happen if the Democrats and the press, if the Attorney General in Virginia was white and said it about a black man?
No. Don't steal it from me, Ralph. I haven't gone there yet. I'm about to go into it. I'm taking all the phone calls from it. Ralph, do me a favor. Call me in the next hour. I promise we'll talk about it.
Will do.
All right. Let me get to Lori real quick. Lori never calls this early. Hello, Lori.
Hi. Well, I happen to be able to work from home today, so I was listening while I'm doing some work on my computer. And finally, someone brought up Candace Owens. Listen, I bless her heart, but I think the cheese has slipped off the cracker, and it might be on the floor because the conspiracy theories that she comes up with make no sense. I think she's doing it purely for the clicks. She's clearly become entirely anti-Semitic for no reason. Actually, it's probably I'll leave it. I'll just, for no good reason. I'm just going to put it that way.
You know what? And listen, I totally understand where you're coming from because, again, when she was doing her, did you watch her when she was doing the deep dive into Kamala Harris's genealogy, like her background and her family? Did you? I watched that.
No.
Roseanne and I watched every episode religiously, and it was good. It was good. And once it was over and the election was over, we haven't watched her since. Like we both looked at each other and just went, yeah, I guess there's nothing to go back to. And everything that I've heard about her as of late has been, as you just described, it seemed like clickbait to me. And you know me, I know that stuff. I can see that stuff a mile away.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, and it's really disappointing because I feel like when she came out, she started out so strong. She was with the Daily Wire.
Right.
She was doing really, really well. I thought, and she made sense with a lot. She was very cogent with a lot of her arguments. But since, I don't know what happened, but girl needs to get a grip and wash her face or do something.
I think what's going on with her is that there's a desire for her, and I really do believe this. Candace Owens needs to be independent, and she needs to be a brand of herself. And what model she is emulating, I guess, for lack of a better word, and this is going to come out of the blue because you've never would have thought about it. What Candace Owens is doing is very similar to what Wendy Williams did in radio. It is literally
that's
the
a
same.
really that's a really good connection. Yeah,
If you've ever, do you know about Wendy Williams back in her radio days before she did her television show? Did you follow her at all? Because I know it was in New York.
Well, she used to talk about her radio show all of the time,
Right.
and I got a kick out of her when she did her TV show just because she just made me laugh.
Yeah.
So either Candace Owens is a brilliant businesswoman going for the clickbait and trying to make as much money as humanly possible, but why would you? I guess my thought is it makes no logical sense to me, and maybe my brain just doesn't work this way, but why would you allow your reputation to become complete mud?
But if you think about it, she's not talking about the things that she used to talk about. When Candace Owens was brought to our attention, it was that she had come through this storm of being a Democrat all of her life and then having this epiphany that conservatism was the way. She invites all of these African-American, thought leaders and influencers and brought them to the White House to meet Donald Trump. He's our president. She accompanied him to Israel when they were first signing the Abraham Accords, and she was really riding on that fame and notoriety. And then you start watching our program today, and it's nothing about policy. It's all about gossip and innuendo and this person and infighting and all this other stuff. When I listen, everything I ever hear about her show has nothing to do about the stuff that Charlie Kirk was famous about, Matthew Knowles at the Daily Wire, or Matt Walsh or even Ben Shapiro for that matter. The things that she was literally associated with. Now she has gone into this whole place of conspiracy theory, talking about Macron's wife's genitalia.
I know.
Like it's nothing to do. Exactly. Again, so this is the reason why I say, and again, having competed against Wendy Williams in radio, and again, she is a peer and a friend. That is how Wendy Williams became famous, because what she did on her airwaves every day was talk about rumor and innuendo inside the music industry, and that became her bread and butter, which is very similar to what Candace Owens has turned into today.
That's an awesome connection. Well said.
Thank you.
Well said, sir.
I appreciate you.
Well said.
Thank you, Lori. I'm gonna when we come back. Okay, be prepared for this. I am gonna read these text messages that are in question with this guy Jay Jones. Guy you don't know anything about. He's only become famous today because he is national news. I will get to that. But I want to tell you what the most important part about this is. And it is rarely being talked about. And it's in the text. And the problem here is not Jay Jones. The problem is the party he represents. And that is being exposed every day. So stay tuned for that. I got to get into that. Don't forget, folks, tomorrow in Newtown at number 3 Primrose Street in Newtown, Connecticut at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, there's going to be a Board of Education meeting where people will be talking about why did I forget their name already? I try not to even bring their name into the fold. This group that people in the Newtown, there it is, Newtown Allies for Change, which is the organization that many in the community are saying are bullying folks. And, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff in the name of being anti-race or anti-racial that's causing some problems, and people want to talk about it, and they want to address the Board of Education about it, because one of the people in question, Danielle Slaughter-Lozer, is a part of that conversation and the things that she left online as they relate to Charlie Kirk, and of course as they relate to other parents' children, and things like that. So they're going to address that in the meeting as well. And if you want to opine about that, you need to get down there and do it. Again, at 7 p.m. tomorrow, Newtown, Connecticut, at number 3 Primrose Street. And if more people are coming, they will move this. Is this correct that this is a public school, and if it gets a large attendance, it'll be moved to the high school? So I don't know if that's the case as of yet, but if you'd like to go, it's the council chambers. Okay, good. So number 3 Primrose Street in Newtown, Connecticut, 7 p.m. When we come back, we'll get to some weather and traffic. Dave Maker's got news. He's in for John Silva. And, Jay Jones. Oh, and Kavanaugh assassin getting 8 years. We'll break that down as well. And, I want to tease. Melba Moore's going to be on the program tomorrow. We'll talk about her and her new book. She'll be on tomorrow at 4 p.m. All right, so stand by. We'll be back. More news, more views, your phone calls, and your chat comments as well in the chat room when we return. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off?
You're clear.
Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
So my mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
If you're one of the million behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
10 seconds.
800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Reese on the Radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I feel, I don't even know how to feel about that Mark Sanchez story. But if there's video of that altercation where Mark Sanchez is attacking a 60-year-old truck driver, if there's video of that, goodness gracious. I don't know anything about that kid, but Mark Sanchez, that is. I know I had to deal with him a couple of years as the quarterback for the Jets, but goodness gracious. I saw that man's bloody picture, the truck driver, inside the hospital. Goodness. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't. I also hear congratulations are in order. Woody Johnson is going to sell the Jets. Yes, finally. Finally selling. Just end my misery now. Sell them. Get somebody else in there who cares about football. Woody Johnson doesn't. I don't care if he's a Republican. I don't give a damn if he's a Republican. I don't care if he supported Trump. That means nothing to me. Nothing. Just sell the team. Get it in the hands of somebody who cares about football. Get it in the hands of somebody who cares about hiring a coach who knows how to win. Okay? Just I'm so disappointed in Aaron Glenn. It's a mess. I couldn't even watch that game. You went against the hapless Dallas Cowboys, who for some odd reason is inexplicably still referred to as America's team. What is wrong with you people? Can you just give just anybody else? Can they be America's team? Just anybody else. I can't. No, I was going to say, why not Detroit? But I went, please no. Please no. And not Kansas City, please. No. In that case, never mind. Just never mind. Forget I said anything. Forgive me. I should have said nothing. I should have stayed away from the conversation altogether. I can't think who you possibly make America's team at this point. I'm over it. I'm just over it. Everybody is saying happy birthday to Roland, who is out today to celebrate his birthday. Did I take a day off on my birthday? I don't even remember if I did. I doubt it. Not that I'm not shading him. I'm not shading him. I'm just saying that I don't think I did. Probably because I wouldn't anyway. Matty O says, oh my God, Reese, you just made my year. Woody Johnson was the worst thing that ever happened to me since Barack Obama. I'm sorry. I can't with Woody. I tried. I can't. I don't know how many times you have to send a letter to a guy and say, stop hiring defensive coaches. Just stop. Can we get an offensive coach? Just one. Just every time you turn around, defensive coaches. It's like the Jets are not going to score points this year. That's the whole thing. That's what they do every year. As soon as they hire a coach, they'll say, hey, Woody, who are you hiring as a new coach? Let me just tell you that we don't think the Jets are going to be scoring any offensive points this year. We're going to really focus on the defense. We're going to stop other people from scoring on us. But you do have to score some points to win. We'll get around to it. Just like they went from one defensive coach to another a defensive player for that matter. They don't deserve to win. They don't. They just don't. Anyway, the last defensive coach that they had that was worth winning, that guy retired on a napkin. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. I think he's there. Is he there?
I'm right here.
Oh, there he is. Hey, Mark, how are you? Happy Monday to you, sir.
Same to you, Reese.
I was waiting for the sound.
I know. I feel naked. I feel like I'm naked without the sound.
My bad.
If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91, look for slow traffic as you move down by exit 36.
You're clear.
And again, you'll see delays 33 down at 32 A and B. A little bump down by exit 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Now, if you're on the westbound side of 84, a little slow approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 47 Sigourney Street. 84 eastbound slows about a mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291, 384, no problems. 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. A little tight again. 9 northbound 34 up to 36 in New Britain. If you are traveling into Waterbury, 84 westbound's a little tight from 23 to the Mixmaster. And southbound on the Parkway, you're looking at some slow traffic now on the southbound side of the Parkway from exit 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 south, delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
With a high of 83. Historical average high temperature today is 68. Tonight clear after a warm and pleasant evening, cooling down to an overnight low of 58. Very warm weather again tomorrow. Some sunshine followed by increasing afternoon clouds. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 81. Turning out mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Warm and humid with a couple of showers in the area late at night. low 64. Not as warm Wednesday, periods of rain into the early afternoon. The rain can lead to poor visibility and slow travel during the morning commute. Lingering clouds later Wednesday with a high temperature of 68 degrees and much cooler Wednesday night. The sky's clear, dropping to a low of 43. Sunday with a cool breeze on Thursday, definitely feeling more like fall with a high of 62 and cold enough for potential frost Thursday night into Friday morning. Sunny and cool on Friday, high 64. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
82 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Low around 60 degrees tonight, high tomorrow around 80. West Haven police are releasing the name of a man found dead along the side of Spring Street yesterday. He was 41-year-old Hector Polanco Latore of West Haven. The body was found near the New Haven line. That's all police are saying for now. Talks to resolve the federal government shutdown appear to be going nowhere.
Last Monday, top House Democrat Hakeem Jeffries and Senate counterpart Chuck Schumer were here at the White House to discuss avoiding a shutdown.
Since that point in time, Republicans, including Donald Trump, have gone radio silent.
Today, he's challenging Speaker Mike Johnson to a debate on the House floor.
We don't need to waste time on that nonsense. Those debates have been had.
Johnson says Democrats are desperate to negotiate, but
I don't have anything to give.
Saying the short-term spending bill the House passed has zero Republican priorities. Both parties are betting public sentiment is on their side and warning Americans are feeling the pain. President Trump has warned federal workers will be fired. Sagar Meghani at the White House.
Democrats, including Senator Richard Blumenthal, are looking to extend federal health care subsidies as enrollment approaches for insurance under the Affordable Care Act.
Americans need to know whether they can afford health care insurance before they enroll, not at the end of the year, as Republicans want to delay this decision. This health care crisis is a matter of life and death for millions of Americans.
Illinois and the city of Chicago are suing to prevent the Trump administration from sending National Guard troops to Chicago. And Governor J.B. Pritzker is denouncing an ICE raid on a city apartment building last week.
In the dead of night, and seemingly for the cameras, armed federal agents emerged from the Black Hawk helicopters, rappelling onto the roof of that apartment building. According to media reports, the agents ransacked multiple apartments and detained almost everyone in the building, including U.S. citizens and children. Some, including U.S. citizens, were detained in the back of vans for hours.
Some had their hands zip-tied. Mayor Brandon Johnson has issued an executive order in Chicago establishing ICE-free zones on city property. The Illinois lawsuit comes just hours after a judge again blocked the deployment of troops to Portland, Oregon, which the president falsely describes as a war zone.
What she said is that the president lacked the authority to federalize the National Guard in Oregon. Now, what happens the next day? The president tries to move troops that were federalized in California to Oregon. In the judge's view, essentially circumventing and undermining her previous ruling.
CBS legal analyst Jessica Levinson. It's Marathon Week in Hartford. The big day is Saturday, but Mayor Arunan Arulampalam says the event means millions for the city before, after, and on race day.
People hang around at Bushnell Park the whole day. There's a beer tent. There's musical acts. There's a fun run for the kids. My kids do it every single year. You got the half mile and the quarter mile and the full mile, I think. But people of all ages can find something to do. It keeps folks active, and it's just a great day in the city of Hartford.
There's also a 5K, which the mayor says he is likely to run. Trial underway in Bridgeport for Costa Diamantis, the former state budget official accused of accepting bribes for school construction contracts. First witness, the defendant's former brother-in-law, a contractor who says Diamantis threatened to take work away from his company if personal payments weren't made. In Indianapolis, former Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez now facing a felony charge of battery in a weekend altercation that wound up with him getting stabbed.
Sanchez originally faced misdemeanor charges, but now Marion County, Indiana prosecutor Ryan Mears says the alleged victim's injuries are serious, so the charges have been upgraded.
felony charge, a level 5 felony of battery involving serious bodily injury, which contains a penalty of 1 to 6 years.
A police affidavit says the 38-year-old Sanchez attacked the 69-year-old truck driver over a parking issue. The driver says he pepper sprayed and stabbed Sanchez in self-defense. Sanchez is still hospitalized. His first court date has been pushed back from tomorrow to November 4th. Peter King, CBS News.
On Wall Street at closing, the Dow down 63 points. S&P was plus 24. The NASDAQ was up 161. Sports. ESPN reports Patriots running back Antonio Gibson suffered a torn ACL in last night's win at Buffalo. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Carbone's Kitchen is now open for lunch.
1 minute.
Sink your teeth into the
Thank
Franklin
you.
Ave Chicken Panini with grilled chicken, pesto, and fresh mozzarella on toasted sourdough. Or savor our short rib grilled cheese with tender short rib, melty fontina, and garlic aioli. For a lighter option, try our salmon, tenderloin, or chicken with choice of 2 fresh sides. And of course, all our pasta is made fresh daily on our machine imported from Italy. Carbone's Kitchen. Italian comfort reimagined. And now Carbone's Prime is open for lunch too. See our menus at carboneskitchen.com.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail, and losing weight. That's Awaken 180, a program that fits into your lifestyle with coaches who support you every step of the way. Visit awaken180weightloss.com to kickstart your transformation.
Call the B for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and drains needs. Serving our Connecticut neighbors with
10 seconds.
service you can trust. Visit calltheb.com. That's calltheletter.com to check out our latest deals and beeline to Speedy Repairs today. Call the B. We'll be there and we'll be fair.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Before we get into the between rounds winner, I just want to say that the Babylon Bee, you guys, you couldn't be more cruel but funny at the same time, says that Mark Sanchez will be sentenced to 5 more seasons with the New York Jets after his altercation in Indianapolis. That's just cold, man. That's just cold. It's a serious case in that man. I just heard Dave Maker say the truck driver was 69 years old. Sanchez is 38. Like, what? For Pete's sake, you moron. Ugh. And I saw what that man looked like afterwards. Goodness gracious. So, anyway, let's get to this.
Bagel Deli and Bakery. Between rounds. Between rounds. Between rounds.
Congratulations, Ron B. He is in Bristol. He is today's recipient of the Between Rounds dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe, located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. If you'd like an opportunity to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com to enter. Make sure you put in your telephone number and your date of birth so that you can win. And you can go in there as many times as you like. We'll pick your name, and then we'll send you an email, and then we'll announce it today at the same time all the time. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather, and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. We got Melba Moore tomorrow, buddy.
Melba Moore.
Yeah.
Bringing some soul into the show. I
No
like
doubt.
that. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, this traffic report being brought to you
You're
by
clear.
Implant Center in Manchester. And if you're on the eastbound side of I-84, look for a little slow traffic. About a mile before 46 Avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. Westbound 84 is a little tight. Bulkley Bridge out to exit 47 Sigourney Street. And then once you get around that, it actually looks pretty good out into the West Hartford exits. We're seeing a little slow traffic, though, between 40 and 39A. Looks like an accident now. Right shoulder, maybe a little bit of the right lane taken out there, so look out for that. Now, if you are traveling on the southbound side of 91, delays 33 to 32A and B in Hartford. Another bump down by exit 28. More slow traffic approaching 19 to 17 in Meriden. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 9 north again slowing 32 in Berlin. Up to exit 36 in New Britain. Up by the 72 interchange. Westbound 84 is tight from 37 Finneman Road in Farmington up to 33 in Plainville. Westbound 84 into Waterbury slowing 23 up to the Mixmaster. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day. Open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Staying sunny and very warm the rest of this afternoon. A high of 83. Average high today is 68. Tonight clear, an overnight low of 58. And the very warm weather will continue tomorrow. Sunshine for the most part, some late day clouds. It'll become breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 81. Then mostly cloudy tomorrow night, warm and actually fairly humid. Be some showers moving in late tomorrow night, low 64. Rain will then continue Wednesday morning and midday, probably ending Wednesday afternoon. It'll be cooler with the rain. And Wednesday's high 68. Back to dry weather and sunshine on Thursday, cooler and breezy. Thursday's high 62. Right now it is 80 degrees in Bristol. It's 81 in Meriden, 80 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This report is brought to you by Moderna.
mNEXSpike COVID-19 vaccine mRNA by Moderna has arrived. To learn more and find it near you, visit mnexspike.com. That's mnexspike.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Tune in to WTIC News Talk 1080 for Healthy Rounds, Saturday mornings 11 till noon. Learn from the top experts about the latest medical news and call in with your questions. Healthy Rounds, sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, Saturday mornings 11 till noon on WTIC News Talk 1080 and WTIC.com.
If you've been injured in an accident, don't let the insurance company decide how much you're worth. At Carter Mario Law Firm, you're more than just a client and more than just a quick settlement. When you get Carter, we'll help you get more. More experience, more attention, and more accessibility. The Carter Mario Law Firm's zero-fee warranty means you pay nothing unless we win. Visit GetCarter.com or call 877-GET-CARTER.
I'm Kristen Press. And I'm Tobin Heath. We're World Cup winners, Olympians, and the hosts of the Recap Show. Every week, we sit down with the icons, disruptors, and game changers on the field and beyond it to talk victories, heartbreaks, and everything in between. We've built a space where athletes, change makers, and people creating the future of women's sports can show up and show off as their full, unapologetic selves. Follow and listen to the Recap Show wherever you get your podcasts.
You hear that? That's the sound of your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly Open, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to... Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls?
10 seconds.
Customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/try. QUO.com/try.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, folks, we are back, and we'll take your phone calls in a second, so stand by for that if you'd like to. The number's 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Hey, they're playing the trailer of that movie I want to see called Soul on Fire. I can't wait to see that movie. Very, very inspirational film. I got to maybe get some background on that guy. But I want to get into this story about Jay Jones. And if you're not familiar with him, if you're watching online, that's the picture of the gentleman to my right. Young man, African-American, I'm assuming of mixed race, but definitely, well, he would consider himself African-American. He is running against Jason Miyares for Attorney General of Virginia. And he made national news over the weekend for some text messages back in 2022. They were released, and I'm assuming it was in a release to destroy or railroad Jay Jones's campaign. And it is working. primarily because of the current political climate, as they like to call it. I don't do that. I don't believe in the whole political climate nonsense, but that's the term that they're using. So in my hand, I have a breakdown of the text messages between Jay Jones and an unknown Democrat as they are talking about another politician or Speaker of the House. And in the beginning of this conversation, they are talking about a funeral that many in politics attended. And the person who had passed away was a Democrat. But Republicans set politics aside and showed up to pay their respects. Jay Jones here was not particularly happy with that because he is a far leftist, an angry far leftist. And the unidentified person he was communicating with says, they say nice things about everyone, laugh out loud. Jay Jones responds by saying, if those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals and urinate on their graves, he wrote. Send them out awash in something. The person responds, Jay Jones. He then responds, 3 bullets. I'm sorry, 3 people, 2 bullets. Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets. Spoiler, but Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people, you know he receives both bullets every time. So he is suggesting that one of his colleagues, a Republican, is worse than Hitler and Pol Pot and believes that he, Gilbert, should receive 2 shots. The person he is communicating with says, Jay, please stop. Jay's response is, laugh out loud. Okay. That person he's speaking to then responds, it really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death on them. So we know that that is something that he does. That is a behavior. That's what the person says. It really bothers me when you talk about hurting people or wishing death on them. You weren't simply asking questions, and you know it. He says, I genuinely was. I wasn't attacking you. I was trying to understand your logic. And in saying in this, I guess they're having a back and forth about, look, people should get along. Anyway, you weren't trying to understand. You were talking about hoping that Jennifer Gilbert, the perverse man he was talking about, her children would die. And he says, yes, this is Jay Jones. I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. He then further goes on, after a back and forth, then say this. I mean, I do think that Todd and Jennifer are evil. And they are breeding little fascists. Yes? They are breeding little fascists. That is what Jay Jones thinks about this particular political opposition, is that they are breeding fascists. What they think about you and I. That their opposition aren't people who have differences of opinion. They are fascists. That is a description of what they think of us. Do you understand that? Now, it brings me back to my opening monologue. This is the reason why they have no interest in saying thank you. This is the reason why they have no interest in showing some form of gratitude. This is who they are. They wish to steal from you, to take from you, and to tell you what for. To consider their position or else. They wish death upon you. They would sooner see you dead than exchange ideas. They would sooner see you in pain than debate you. Somebody was in the room talking about how somebody left the chat room. It was like, why are you leaving? The reason why they leave is because when their comments are being drowned out with reason, and when their so-called shame of you falls on deaf ears, they run. Because again, it's not an exchange of ideas. It's adhere or else. is adhere or die. And when you talk to Democrats, those who have the guts to say, I'm sorry, this guy can't stay in the race. He just can't. That isn't to say that people aren't, I'd say, available to the idea that something like this can't stand. But where is the national uproar? That would have been the case had this been anybody else. I want you to think about this. If anyone else had been caught making these kinds of statements, wishing the death on children, what would have happened? They would have screamed and hollered to the rafters. They cannot deal with owning up to the fact that they are radical. They have a hate inside their heart that they cannot extinguish. They only wish to bolster and fuel because they are petulant and children. They do not know how to deal with their anger. They're just angry all the time. And in order for them to win, people must die. That's the way they look at it. That's the way they look at the world. Or at least you have to be under the threat of death. You have to be under the threat of losing your life, because then you will heal. If they had the opportunity, they would hold you by gunpoint and force you to accept their way of life. They would. You would ask them or beg them, can't you have a conversation? The answer is no. And everybody knows it's because their arguments are weak. Everybody knows that their argument lacks common sense. Everybody knows that in an exchange of ideas, they would be arriving unarmed. And I'm sorry, you're on the left. If you're getting angry, you're proving my point. I told you about a conversation I had last week when I'm talking on the phone, and the person who's on the other side of the phone is screaming at me emotionally, as if I were beating him to a pulp. Screaming and yelling at me as I keep my voice even tone. What are you screaming about? You just don't understand. You don't get it. Your life is in danger. And if you hear these people talk, listen to the way that they talk. Read the comments that they make. What do they tell you? People are going to die. It is dire. It is going to be a dictatorship. They're going to take our rights away. I thought it was crazy when there were black people running around talking about they're going to bring back slavery. I was like, you sound like an unhinged lunatic. Calm down. You don't understand. You don't understand. What is wrong with you? You have to calm down. And they can't. And even if it doesn't happen, even if it never happens, I mean, it's like the end of the world nonsense. Even if it weren't to happen, even if it doesn't happen, you would go back to them and say, didn't you tell us that it was supposed to be like the end of the world? Well, that's because we stopped him. No, you didn't. The day just went on. Everybody just went on. Everybody moved about the earth the way they moved about the earth. But everything has to be an existential threat because, again, these are mental patients. That's all. Petulant mental patients. Mini tyrants. They are the things they accuse everybody else of being. That's who they are. Because otherwise, you wouldn't see the stuff that you're seeing in the screen. Would you see these people screaming at ICE agents, confronting them? Just ask yourself, on a logical plane, just hear me out for a minute. Hear me out for a minute. During the George Floyd riots of 5 years ago, ask any leftists about the appetite to murder people by the federal government and the police. Was at an all-time high. That given the opportunity, these people with guns and the authority would murder everyone in the street if they were opposed to them. You know that, right? You know it to be true, leftists. Now ask yourself, rationally, take a minute, put down the meds. Look at Portland, Oregon. Look at Chicago or outside of Chicago now. Look at the unarmed radicals facing off against ICE agents with guns. Who's firing what? Who's shooting them indiscriminately? Huh? There are a lot of brown people out there too. Why are there no dead bodies all over the floor? Why are there none? Why are we not seeing carnage at the hands of an authoritarian police force? Anyone? Anyone? Come on, you can pick up your meds now if you need to take them in order to answer the question. Just tell me. It's not happening, is it? The only people who are being attacked are the people with the guns, who again are the radical, fascist individuals who can shoot you dead. If given the opportunity, I've got a clear shot. Blow, nothing. Instead, they're using pepper spray and rubber bullets and arresting a few of you as you spit on them, get in their faces. I mean, you spit in their faces. You're inches from them, and you spit on them. Where's all the fear? Where's all the fear? I thought we were supposed to be in fear of what's about to happen. Those people don't look afraid. Perhaps they should be made to be. To get these people under heel. I don't think, if we're a fascist group, I don't think we're being fascist enough. If you think about it, I think we're being quite forgiving, quite considerate, especially protecting human life. If I remember correctly, it's the radicals who shot and killed 2 detainees, not ICE agents. If I'm keeping score, are you? So when I look at all of this and I look at this Jay Jones thing, sure, there's going to be outrage. The guy, listen, that Virginia race is a wash anyway. But what I want you to pay attention to, there's only one thing. Don't pay attention to anything other than this. The people who voted for Jay Jones after this. Not the early voting, that's already done. But see how many after the fact voted for him. And that's all you need to know. If Jay Jones beats Jason Miyares for the seat of Attorney General in Virginia, that's all you need to know. Democrats have said, yeah, we support that guy. Yeah, the death of children of a Republican, yeah, I got no problems with that. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, say more. Say more. That's all you need to know. And then you'll understand it. And the rest of us will sit back. And I think it's important that you understand this. The rest of us just need to sit back and look at that and go, we know who you are. Keep your head on a swivel. Know exactly who you are. Please don't come at us. Start talking to us about compassion. Don't come at me talking about how I'm supposed to be, caring and loving. Because if you support Jay Jones, all that stuff means nothing. It's pointless, it's useless, and we're not listening anymore. Remember that? Compassion for the immigrants. Where's your compassion now? The man wanted the kids dead. We're not trying to hear it. We'll take a break. Let's get into some weather and traffic with Bob Larson and Mark Christophers in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Reese. Thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into the Hartford area,
You're clear.
On the westbound side of I-84, you're going to see some slow traffic now as you approach the Bulkley Bridge in East Hartford out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Slowing again as you move up on exit 42 up to between exit 40 and 39A. An accident on the right shoulder there. State Police working with that. Westbound 84 in New Britain, some slow traffic 36 out to 33 into Plainville in the 72 interchange. Eastbound side of 84 slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue to the Bulkley. Southbound 91's a little tight, 36 to 35. In Windsor, again, 33 down to 32 A and B. In Hartford, and again, 27 down to 28. More slow traffic, 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound 91 looks real good. Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 okay. 2 eastbound's moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound delays. Arbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Again, 9 northbound slowing 32. Up to exit 36 in New Britain. If you are traveling into Waterbury, westbound 84 sluggish traffic 23 to the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway delays 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Sunny the rest of this afternoon and very warm for October. High 83. Tonight clear with an overnight low of 58. Tomorrow again very warm. Some sunshine followed by increasing clouds. Breezy tomorrow afternoon. High 81. Warm and humid tomorrow night. A couple of showers late at night. Low 64. Not as warm on Wednesday. Periods of rain into early afternoon. The rain could lead to poor visibility and slow travel during the morning commute. Wednesday's high 68. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
82 degrees at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Low around 60 tonight. West Haven police released the name of a man found dead along the side of Spring Street yesterday. He was 41-year-old Hector Polanco Latore of West Haven. The body was found near the New Haven line. There's no word on how he died. State police say partial human remains were found yesterday at Mansfield Hollow State Park. They were found in a lake. Again, few details being released. A judge says the Trump administration still can't deploy National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. The White House tried to get around her initial order by issuing a plan to use troops from out of state.
Federal judge in Oregon, appointed by President Trump during Trump's first term, ruled that you can't send out-of-state National Guard troops to Portland lawfully either. So it's not just the Oregon National Guard that she has blocked, but also the deployment of the California National Guard to Portland, or potentially the Texas National Guard to Portland. She refers to her earlier ruling in which she said it's unlawful to deploy the Guard in this way under these circumstances.
CBS's Scott McFarland. Illinois and the city of Chicago are also in court trying to keep National Guard troops out of Chicago. A fire over the weekend destroyed the home of a state judge in South Carolina. At least 3 people were hurt. Judge Diane Goodstein last month blocked the state from giving its entire state voter database to the Trump administration. She was overruled by the state Supreme Court. A relative says she faced death threats. On day 6, no progress reported on the government shutdown. CBS's Weijia Zhang.
Each side continues to blame the other one, continues to hope that the other side will somehow come around, but it's not as though they are having robust conversations to try to actually work out a deal.
The White House now says President Trump was referring to ongoing furloughs when he talked about potential government worker firings yesterday. A New York judge upholds Nassau County's ban on transgender women playing on female sports teams at county-run parks. A roller derby league sued, claiming the law violates state anti-discrimination law. An appeal is planned. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 63 points. S&P climbed 24. The Nasdaq was up 161. Sports. ESPN reports Patriots running back Antonio Gibson suffered a torn knee in last night's win at Buffalo. Baseball playoffs game 2, Dodgers at Philadelphia, Cubs in Milwaukee. Monday night football, Kansas City at Jacksonville. And Edmonton signs the best player in the NHL, Connor McDavid, to a 2-year extension. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why Big Wireless wants you on unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of
1 minute.
Cellular. Ever wonder why Big
Thank you.
Wireless wants you on unlimited plan? They probably want you to cover the cost of those 20-somethings using all that data every month. But most people 50 and up like me only use 12 gigs or less. Don't get bamboozled by Big Wireless. Switch to Consumer Cellular. Our plans start at just $20, and we use the same towers as the big guys. Join the millions who choose something better, because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no
10 seconds.
Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
We'll get to your telephone calls in the next talking break. So stand by for that. Also, don't forget to go to the Reese on the Radio website. That's reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. Who's still spelling it with a C? Who's still doing that? reeseontheradio.com. Go to the Substack. There's a new Substack in there already. It's there every Sunday. If you wish to subscribe to my Substack, it's free. I don't make anybody pay for anything. I don't think I'm that important yet. But I love writing. I love the stuff that I'm doing now, and it's also in the Connecticut Sentinel. So again, I want to give them a shout out as well. They post it on Sunday. I want to frame it because the Connecticut Sentinel, they're like their font and their website page. When my story is like the headline on it, looks so cool, and I want to actually frame it just from my own personal reason, because it looks kind of cool, and I feel kind of important when they do that. So make sure you go there for that. Of course, the podcast is there, as well as go to WTIC.com for that. You can join us on Facebook and on X as well. If you are not following or friend of Reese on either of those platforms, on X or on Facebook, please go there now. It's on the top right-hand corner to do that. Also, we have a telephone number that you can call in. You can send a text message. You can call us and leave a message. All of that stuff is there. There's so much you can do on reeseontheradio.com. So go there now and, hang out with us as I try to do more and more stuff to at least give you guys something to, interest yourself when you're bored. And you miss Reese on the Radio like I miss you all the time. Also, I got a great question from a listener in the text, in the chat room on reeseontheradio.com. I want to read that in a second, but let's get to traffic and weather. Bob Larson, he's got weather. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center, getting you home. Hello, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading on the westbound
You clear.
84 out in West Hartford, we are still dealing with a multi-vehicle crash, and that is westbound 84 between exit 40 and 39A. It's all right shoulder, but it's causing some curiosity delays. So westbound 84, look for delays approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney, and then again you'll see delays from 43 out to the accident scene. 84 eastbound, you're locked up about a half mile before 46th Avenue into the tunnel. Southbound 91 delays 33 down to 32A and B, and again down by exit 28. More slow traffic 19 to 17 in Meriden. If you're on the northbound side of 91, that moves well. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. 291, 384 doing well. 2 eastbound's okay into Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing, approaching Harbor Park to the Aragoni. 9 north again slows from exit 36 in New Britain as you approach the 72 interchange. Westbound 84, Waterbury slowing from 25 up to the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays approaching 50 down into the West Rock Tunnel, and 95 South New Haven slows 46 down to exit 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Very warm and sunny the rest of this afternoon. Certainly not feeling like October. Today's high 83 and clear tonight, overnight low 58. The very warm weather will continue tomorrow. Sunshine followed by late day clouds, becoming breezy, high 81, and showers moving in later tomorrow night. Low tomorrow night just 64 degrees. There'll be some rain in the area Wednesday, at least through early afternoon, probably drying out later Wednesday. Cooler with a high of 68. Sunny, breezy, cooler weather on Thursday. The high is 62. Right now it is 80 degrees in Manchester. It's 81 in Middletown and 80 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Wisdom Teeth giving you trouble? Columbia Dental's expert oral surgeons specialize in comfortable and efficient wisdom tooth removal. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Have you noticed those ugly algae streaks that ruin a roof's look? Your insurance company will. Atlas Roofing with Scotchgard Protector from the Peter L. Brown Company stays beautiful and streak-free. For a free estimate, please visit peterlbrown.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
The dog days of summer are fading quickly. Hurry to get this limited time preseason offer. Call ALO Home Services today and take advantage of their $99 heating system check special. Prevent costly and inconvenient breakdowns backed by a worry-free no breakdown guarantee. Call, click, or text today and say hello ALO, licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776888, S1041347, D104014665, S33086999, SM3004646, E1185643.
Wesley Financial Group is
1 minute.
And Chuck McDowell
Okay.
is definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-384-9393. That's 800-384-9393.
When you haven't found love, it can feel like everyone else has. It's in every movie, every song, and all the PDA. Looking for love sucks. Thankfully, California Psychics can give you the guidance you need to find the one. We guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's
10 seconds.
And new customers receive 20 minutes for just $20. Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com and experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Let's go to the phones real quick. Tom is in Thomaston. Hello, sir.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good, sir. What's up?
Two quick things. One, I think America's team now is the Green Bay Packers. The only team now owned by a billionaire, owned by the folks of the city. So that's and of course I'm a big fan too.
I'm not going to lie. I thought that the Green Bay Packers were America's team during the Brett Favre, and if I may say so, a couple of years with Aaron Rodgers. I kind of feel like they were the team to watch.
Yeah. Hey, when you're good, everyone loves you.
That's right.
That's why there's still so many Miami Dolphin fans, because they were, huge in the 70s.
Yeah, true.
And then hopefully the Packers look like they were undefeated maybe this year, but boy, they've really slipped his last two games.
Yeah.
But anyway, Candace Owens, I can remember calling Todd and saying to Todd, man, I wish Candace Owens would move back to Connecticut, because she's from Stamford, run for governor and straighten out this state. Who knew she was that crap crazy? And oh my God, I have no idea what happened to that woman.
Again, I really do believe it is a brand change, a branding change. And what happened was, and again, I'm telling you because I saw this during this. Again, I have to ask you, like I asked Lori, did you watch her during the whole Kamala Harris deep dive that she was doing on her show? Did you watch that at all?
No.
Okay.
No, I just saw her when she, come on Fox and stuff, and I'm like, wow, this woman has really got something.
Absolutely. Completely charismatic, very straightforward. In fact, everyone she was on the debate stage with or on a television show with, she was owning them completely. Like she absolutely, like smart wit, quick, concise, loved every bit of it. But if you checked out the Kamala Harris deep dive, and I even noticed it, I said it to Roseanne. I said, this is really turning gossipy, but in a good way for me, because I was loving what she was finding out about Kamala Harris's background in Jamaica, the people who her father was, and all this stuff. And it was very informative, but it was incredibly gossipy. It was supposed to dive into what is Kamala Harris's background and what does she believe and why? And did it come from her father? Did it come from her mother? What their backgrounds were. But then it started to go into this weaving about who this person was, whether or not this person was black or Guyanese, or whether or not this person was white, and it became very tabloid-like, but it was still entertaining. And as that went on, when the story was over and the election was over and Kamala Harris was a forethought, then she started diving into this Macron thing. And what was that about? It's not about American politics. It was about whether or not she was a man or a woman. And as I'm listening to it, the beginnings of it, I'm going, this reminds me of Wendy Williams. And that was when I made the connection, because her listeners and the people she was responding to in the chat room were all doing her bidding. They were running around getting information for her and then giving it to her like a bunch of gossip columnists would. And I said, oh, this show's People Magazine. This isn't politics. This isn't, a podcast about policy. This is nothing more than, pop culture nonsense. And that's when I knew, not that it was over, but I knew that she had sort of grabbed a niche and she's sticking with it.
Yeah, that's a good correlation, because I remember Cindy Williams, saying proudly that she wanted to be the female Howard Stern, and, she loved that kind of stuff.
That's right. Exactly right.
Yeah, it's too bad, because I think she really could have been something.
I agree, too. I agree, too. But you know what? When the popularity grows in a certain direction, you kind of want to cater to that, and you say, all right, this is my newfound sort of angle, and I think I'm going to go there. She does talk about politics here and there, but she's really getting her bread and butter from the people who like the gossip stuff. And it's big business. It just is. Yeah. It's big business.
Yeah, she lost me at the Israel and the Palestine. Yeah. She lost me then.
And I think that no, she could have been opinionated about Israel if it wasn't about being defiant. And what I mean by that is she had to get more and more inflammatory in her rhetoric to create a larger rift. And it was like, okay, we can argue with Bibi Netanyahu. We can argue against the IDF. We can argue against just Israeli versus Palestinians. We have that conversation all night long. But then when you start going into the tropes, that stuff is nothing more than clickbait. And you know it is.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Yeah. So, but I hear you, boss man. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's get to Ralph, because Ralph wanted to talk about the Jay Jones thing. How are you, sir?
Oh, hanging in there, Reese. Sorry I stole your
No. I had a particular monologue for it, so I wanted to get to it. So, yeah, you asked the question earlier, if this were a Republican, what would be the response? And the response would be, as it always is, that we have to adhere to what would the normal rules be under that guise, right? The normal rules are somebody said something abhorrent, you've got to drop out of the race, and anyone who doesn't denounce him is just as bad as him. So we know the rules are different.
Well, the thing that gets me is what he said was so unbecoming a human being, I guess. Maybe you want to put it that way.
Despicable is what he did.
that you want to see his wife and children dead? I mean, I'm sorry, Reese. I don't care how much you disagree with somebody, you don't like them. You don't wish something that's stupid on them, and then you got to be a total idiot to do it publicly.
Well, that he did it privately, but what I really understood about this was the person saying to him, and this is truly what I believe, is that the person who was communicating with him obviously expressed that Jay Jones, whatever his name is, that he had said things like this before about his political opposition, that this was commonplace for him, that he felt about people that people should die for what they believed in, or if they were in any way opposed to his way of thinking, that they deserved to die, and he had made commentary like that in a sadistic way. And I think what also is interesting is that he laughed it off when people pushed back on him and said, look, that's a little bit macabre. Maybe you shouldn't say that. He was like, laugh out loud. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? No, it's like, so he didn't think there was anything wrong with it, which again talks to a person's psyche. And imagine this, Ralph, and this is also important. This is a guy who is going to be the top cop on the left. Imagine what he would have done in that position as the top cop of an entire state.
I wouldn't even want to think about it. But one more thing I'd like to mention quickly, Reese, if I can. I had to go for X-rays a couple days ago.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah. Well, I had to have my shoulder replaced.
Oh, okay.
But the young lady who did them was Oriental, and we started BSing. And I asked her, she says, well, her father was Chinese, her mother was Vietnamese.
Oh, wow.
And that her grandmother came here going way back, I guess, when the Vietnamese came over.
Mm-hmm.
And she said that her grandmother applied to get her mother, and her siblings to come over to this country. She said it took them 10 years to go through all the paperwork and get everything done. But you know what she said? It was so worth it. She says, now I'm an X-ray technician, but I want to move up. I want to, move up the ladder. And those are the kind of people we want here.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I don't know how well you knew this X-ray technician. Was that the first time you ever met her?
Yes.
Okay, now think about what you just said. See, I like the story, but I can always dive deep just from hearing the story. Imagine this, Ralph. You never met the woman before, and you found out more about her than you would at a dinner party, about her immigration to this country as she became a citizen of this country. Listen to how eager she was to not only tell you about how she got here, but also what she wanted for her life thereafter was to become bigger and better than where she was. She didn't see it as a ceiling. She saw that as an opportunity to rise up. And the reason why you say that we want people like that is because that's exactly what immigration is, not the nonsense that people are trying to sell to us.
Well, 100% correct, Reese. And let's face it, in this country today, what they're doing with these illegals, and I'm sorry, when you see your buddy Murphy again, and I've said this before, and I'll say it once more, ask him how high our deficit can go before we're bankrupt.
2 years. I've already checked the numbers. I've checked the numbers. They said it's absolutely unsustainable. In 2 years, forget about it. It's a wrap. If they keep spending this kind of money, it's insane.
What happened to the country, Reese?
Yeah, exactly. The entire country. That's exactly right. Thank you, Ralph. I appreciate you, sir.
Have a great night.
Thank you, man. You too. Yeah, it's almost impossible to think that the road these people are trying to send us down. Let me read this thing in the chat room. Somebody sent this to me. If I can, I totally don't want to miss the opportunity to give the person credit who wrote it. Jack writes this to me. And Jack, I'll try to read this as fast as I can and give you an answer as fast as I can. He writes, Reese, explain this to me. A few years ago, a 9-year-old black child was executed while playing with his friends. It was a gang retaliation for something his brother did. Was there an uproar in the community? No. Do you know who organized the protest? Father Flager. I'm very familiar with Father Flager. know a lot about him. A white Catholic priest. Now, I don't know whether sending in the National Guard to Chicago is the best way to handle it. But where is the alternative? No cash bail and lenient sentences result in career criminals roaming the streets. Unraised children are up in gangs terrorizing a city and promulgating the drug trade. Taxpayers are funding inner city public schools that are far less successful than they should be. Churches are on every corner with ministries promising pie in the sky as long as you tithe generously. Oh, don't forget they also are politically active. Chicago older persons make over $100,000 a year with virtually no accountability. Downtown and the Magnificent Mile are deteriorating rapidly. Law-abiding inner-city residents who cannot afford to move are stuck in horrible conditions. Who speaks for them? Yes, the Democrats have run the city forever. Their racism, incompetence, and indifference has contributed to all of this. What you need in Chicago is a concerned inner-city community willing to stand up and demand a safe community. Criticize absentee parents and useless politicians. Oh, I thought there was a question in here. Okay, the best way to answer this for you, or to at least respond to this, is really simple. Is that it isn't about solving problems. It's about exacerbating the decay. Solving problems puts people out of work. You have these funding programs and programs writ large in order to stick around in perpetuity. It's a money grab. If they were there to solve these problems, they work for a short time. If they knew how to solve these problems, they'd only work for a little time. It would be over with. Kids would be in school. They'd be getting an education. Good jobs would be had. People would be, working themselves out of poverty. The objective is to deteriorate it further. So there's more of a need for politicians, Washington, and government. They will be mommy and daddy. They will be the providers. And in order to keep the money train coming, or the gravy train for that matter coming, you'll have to keep voting for them. Make them dependent, and they'll never leave. They're like any bum. Why do you think a bum stands on the corner and collects money when you're at the intersection? Because you continue to give. Sorry, I know people say it was like, well, then, they're homeless. If there was no money to give, they wouldn't be there. What you call compassion can also be enabling. But you got to have the guts to call it what it is. As the people on MSNBC like to say, sometimes you got to be able to call a thing a thing. And that's what it is. Sure, when you see them, your heart, it bleeds for them. I feel bad. Oh, let me give them something. I've got some loose change here. They only need a couple of people to do that. But if you make it difficult, if that spigot is cut off, what will they do then? They will do something else. They always do. When we come back, I'm going to tell you this. At the top of the hour, there's something crazy that happens. In one breath, I'm actually happy that I'm leaving this state and coming to Connecticut. But there is something that is going on here in Texas that will blow your mind. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about it. Because I almost feel like it would be beneficial if they did it in Connecticut or any other state for that matter. I'll explain it when we return with some Hollywood news. So stick around. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. Bob Larson's got weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Getting you home if you're getting out of the office right now. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're 84 eastbound, look for delays now.
You're clear.
You move
Thank you, sir.
about a half mile before 46th Avenue down to the Bulkley. Westbound 84 is a little tight from the tunnel area. Right out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. Southbound 91, look for some slow traffic now as you move down 33 down to 32 A and B in Hartford. Again, 27 to 28. Another slowdown 19 to 17 in Meriden. Northbound side of 91 is slowing in Meriden between exit 15 and 16. After that, you go to Good Ride, Cromwell, up into Windsor. You'll slow a little bit in Windsor, 35 up to 36. 291, 384, okay. 2 eastbound moving well into Glastonbury. 9 northbound slowing, approaching Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. Northbound on the Parkway, you're going to see delays now in Meriden from 62 up to exit 64B. If you're traveling into Waterbury, westbound 84 is running slow. 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. Southbound Parkway delays 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Seasonably warm weather continues across the area, and this is expected to last through the day tomorrow. Will stay sunny the rest of this afternoon with a high of 83. Historical average high temperature today is 68. Tonight clear after a warm and pleasant evening, cooling down to an overnight low of 58. Very warm weather again tomorrow. Some sunshine followed by increasing afternoon clouds. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 81. Turning out mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Warm and humid with a couple of showers in the area late at night, low 64. Not as warm Wednesday. Periods of rain into the early afternoon. The rain can lead to poor visibility and slow travel during the morning commute. Lingering clouds later Wednesday with a high temperature of 68 degrees and much cooler Wednesday night. The sky's clear, dropping to a low of 43. Sunday with a cool breeze on Thursday, definitely feeling more like fall with a high of 62 and cold enough for potential frost Thursday night into Friday morning. Sunny and cool on Friday, high 64. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
79 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. It's a big week in Hartford. The marathon is Saturday. Mayor Arun Arulampalam says it means many millions for the local economy.
But I get texts from coffee shops and restaurants about how marathon weekend can really make their margins for the month. For our small businesses, it's huge. And so there's the gross economic impact. There's also just the impact it has on our small businesses that see a huge influx of new folks checking them out and buying their stuff.
The Hartford Marathon and all the events that go with it starts Saturday morning. The mayor says he is likely to run the 5K himself. The government shutdown standoff continues 6 days in.
Hundreds of thousands of federal workers remain furloughed, with military personnel and air traffic controllers working without pay.
Democrats refuse to accept a clean, nonpartisan funding extension.
Senate Democrats returned to Washington ready to negotiate. We're ready to work with Republicans to reopen the government.
A new CBS News poll shows 39% of Americans blame President Trump and congressional Republicans for the shutdown. 30% blame Democrats and 31% blame both equally. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Democrats, including Senator Richard Blumenthal, are looking to extend federal health care subsidies to hold down insurance premiums under the Affordable Care Act.
We are insisting, in fact demanding, that the subsidies for health insurance under the Affordable Care Act be extended now, right away, not at some distant point on the horizon.
Illinois and the city of Chicago are suing to prevent the Trump administration from sending National Guard troops to Chicago.
Donald Trump's deranged depiction of Chicago as a hellhole, a war zone, and the worst and most dangerous city in the world was just complete BS.
Illinois Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker also concerned about aggressive activity by ICE agents.
In the small suburban village of Broadview, with a population of 8,000, federal agents have turned 2 blocks of protest areas into a war zone by firing chemical agents and tear gas at peaceful protesters.
He's also calling out an early morning ICE raid last week on an apartment building in Chicago where American citizens were detained and children had their hands zip-tied. Mayor Brandon Johnson has declared ICE-free zones on city property. Trial underway in Bridgeport for Costa Diamantis, the former state budget official accused of accepting bribes for school construction contracts. The defendant's former brother-in-law has been on the stand all day. He's the contractor who says Diamantis sent voicemails and texts demanding money, saying he was short on funds to pay for one of his kids' wedding. Israel and Hamas officials holding indirect Gaza peace talks in Egypt. The BBC's Barbara Usher with details.
They are basically looking at the technical details of how to do this hostage for prisoner exchange. So they're trying to work out the conditions on the ground as to where and how the hostages would be released. The Red Cross is standing by. Conditions for a ceasefire that would make this possible. Arrangements for how to retrieve the bodies of the deceased because 28 of the hostages are thought to be dead. But it will take some time to find them because they are buried somewhere in the rubble of Gaza.
The Supreme Court rejecting an appeal from child rape accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. The defense argued she never should have been tried for luring teenage girls to be raped by Jeffrey Epstein. She's serving 20 years and was recently moved from a Florida prison to a less secure federal prison camp after meeting with a top Trump attorney. In Indianapolis, former Jets quarterback Mark Sanchez now facing a felony charge of battery in the weekend fight that wound up with him getting stabbed. Police say a drunken Sanchez accosted the driver of a box truck backed into a hotel loading dock.
According to an affidavit obtained by CBS News, the 69-year-old driver, identified only as PT, told police while he was at a loading dock working, he was approached by Sanchez, who tried to stop what he was doing. Then he said Sanchez began harassing him and physically attacked him. Allegedly fearing for his life, the driver said he stabbed Sanchez multiple times. The driver also said Sanchez, quote, smelled of alcohol and his speech was slurred.
CBS's Scott McFarland. Sanchez remains hospitalized. He faces several other charges, all misdemeanors. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 63, S&P climbed 24, the NASDAQ was up 161. Sports, the baseball playoffs, Game 2 in the best-of-5 series, Dodgers in Philadelphia, Cubs in Milwaukee. Monday Night Football, KC at Jacksonville. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Another summer over.
1 minute.
Notice that your energy is lower. Your workouts aren't as productive. Perhaps you aren't sleeping as well and feel foggy all the time. Maybe even your sex drive is off. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're experiencing some or all of these symptoms, it's likely you have low testosterone. And if that's what's going on with you, don't wait.
Difference.
You need to call us at Northeast Men's Health and get treated for your low T. Because living with low testosterone is no way to live. With our low T treatments, if you're like most guys, your life will change considerably. Improved sleep, better energy, greater gains in the gym, better mental clarity, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. Plus, most men see these results in just a few weeks. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes PSA and T-tests and a medical consult. And if you start treatment the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956.
Justin, what did I say I was going to talk about after the break?
800-930-5956. .com. We have 6 offices across.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Don't forget, Newtown Board of Education meeting is tomorrow at 7 p.m. at number 3 Primrose Street. Again, number 3 Primrose Street in Newtown at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Let's get some Hollywood news. It's time for Hollywood news with your correspondent, Reese on the Radio. All the glitz and all the glamour. It's Hollywood news. This one's actually interesting because instead of being about movies, this is about television, but it's about a movie star going to television. I knew this when I first heard it. I knew that. Thank you, Craig. I do think now and remember. This actually is happening, and I'm kind of excited for it. I'm going to check it out. So Roseanne and I have been watching Tulsa King, starring Sylvester Stallone. And the series is pretty good. It's already like 3 episodes into the 3rd season. And we still like the show. Sometimes those things can kind of go down. We love Yellowstone, and it's all invented by this guy, Tyler Sheridan. We like Landman as well. A lot of people talking about that. Well, there's a new series that's coming out that's the first spinoff of any of Tyler Sheridan's show. And that is Tulsa King is getting a spinoff of a show called Nola King, New Orleans, Louisiana. And Samuel L. Jackson is starring in his first TV role ever. I know he did something on on Disney Plus for that the Marvel series. But this is the first television series that he's going to be on. So it's called Nola King, New Orleans, Louisiana King. And it's the first spinoff based upon any one of Tyler Sheridan's series, but it's from the Tulsa King universe. And I know that Samuel L. Jackson is actually going to be in the new Tulsa King season this year. Let's get a check of weather and traffic. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And, of course, what they're doing in Texas. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. I know you like Samuel L. Jackson to some degrees, even though you've probably seen like maybe 1 or 2 movies. he's been
Oh,
in.
yeah. Very likable.
Like, how many movies of his can you count that you've seen? Like maybe 3?
I know I've seen them, but I couldn't even tell you what they are. He's a great actor, no question about it.
I will tell you this. You know what's my favorite, why I love him? I love him because everything he does, he's great in. But I will tell you this. He said something in an interview that made me fall in love with him even more. He said, I love doing movies that are popcorn movies. Like movies you just go in and eat popcorn. He doesn't care. And he talks about that when he did Snakes on a Plane. He said when he found out the movie was called Snakes on a Plane, he said the name alone made him jump on it. He said it sounds camp. Yeah, he said I don't have to read
the name. The name, I want to be a part of it.
He said because that's a movie I would go see, and that's what makes him so like he's a movie fan, and that's what made me like him. It's like that's exactly why I go to the movies because I want to forget about my life and go see something popcorn. Yeah, I think it's a great guy.
You want the escape. Well, that's
exactly
what they're paying for, the escape.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you could tell he's a very likable character.
Absolutely.
No question about it. And you could tell he's really, really bright, too. Smart guy.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, westbound 84.
You're clear.
From 47,
Thank you, sir.
Sigourney up to 45 Flatbush.
I forgot to tell you, I did listen to those bands, the Arctic Monkeys, the Spritz, and the Silver Suns pickups. I had listened to the Arctic Monkeys, like, Do You Really Know Me? I knew that song in the Struts. What song was it? Could Have Been Me.
Yes, could have been me. Yes. So, all right. So, who did you like? Did you like the Silver Sun pickups at all?
Yeah, I liked a couple of their songs.
Okay, I went to go see them. They were at the Toad. Is that the I don't know what it's called, but yeah, I was there. I went to go see them a couple of weeks ago when I was in Connecticut, in New Haven.
If you are
Oh, nice. Where were they playing New Haven?
I think the Toad, what it's called, or something.
That bar.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Westbound Waterbury slowing.
I'm so ticked off that I missed Foo Fighters. They did a surprise concert there.
Oh, did they? I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Connecticut has regional
I do like them too. They're a good band.
Yeah, me too.
That help eliminate suicide by focusing on prevention and post-vention response. Learn how you can be part of the solution. Visit amplifyct.org to learn more and amplify our mental health. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yeah, Toad's place. I knew it was Toad something.
Okay, yeah, I heard of that bar. I think it's like the Big Yale one.
Yeah, it was great. I had a blast. Place was packed.
Nice, that's awesome.
High up to 81. Warm and actually fairly humid tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy, some late night showers. Tomorrow night's low just 64. Not as warm on Wednesday with rain in the area, at least through early afternoon. Probably drying out later Wednesday afternoon. It'll be cooler with the wet weather. Wednesday's high 68. Sunshine, breezy, and cool Thursday. And a high of 62. It's currently 79 degrees in Newington, 78 in Farmington, and 79 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Brought to you by NJM Insurance Group.
Why is NJM Insurance silent in an industry full of catchy jingles? And how do they do what's right when things go wrong? Tune into
Sorry, Matty O. I could have sworn I told everybody I was going.
Brought to you by NJM. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Call the B for all of your HVAC, plumbing, and drains needs. Serving our Connecticut neighbors with fast and reliable service you can trust. Visit calltheb.com. That's calltheletter.b.com to check out our latest deals and beeline to speedy repairs today. Call the B. We'll be there and we'll be fair.
Slow? Clogged? Backed up? Don't worry. ALO Home Services has you covered. For only $93, our technician will clear any drain in your home. And if it can't be cleared, it's free. Call for details. License number HIC 628926, P10277688, S10413487, D10401465, S3308699. SM3004646, E1185643.
Picture this. You're eating good food, enjoying a cocktail with dinner, and losing weight. That's the power of Awaken 180, a weight loss program that teaches you how to eat for your body without giving up what you love. No medications, no gimmicks. With Awaken 180, you get personalized coaching, lifetime support, and results guaranteed in the first week. Finally, a program that makes sense and creates lasting change. To kickstart your transformation, visit awaken180weightloss.com or call 844-346-1800.
1 minute.
That's the sound
Thank
of
you.
your business losing money. Legacy phone systems weren't built for today's teams. Quo, formerly OpenPhone, gives your business a smarter way to stay connected. Quo lets you manage calls, texts, voicemail, and contacts all in one place so that you can deliver a seamless customer experience from ring to Need to take calls on the go? Quo automatically transcribes, summarizes, and highlights next steps from every call, so you never miss a detail. Need insight into what closes a sale? With Quo's AI call tags, you can instantly spot key topics like objections or pricing questions, and use those insights to level up every customer interaction. And yes, you can bring your existing number with you for free. Keep your team in sync and your customers happy with Quo. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers.
10 seconds.
Try Quo for free at quo.com/try and get 20% off your first 6 months. That's quo.com/try. QUO.com/try.
It's Reese on the radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, we are back. And thank you, Craig. And thank you, whomever the other person was, for reminding me exactly where I was on this thing. So I want to tell this, and I want to get to some other stuff. And, of course, your phone calls at 860-522-WTIC. That's 860-522-9842. So living in San Antonio, there's been, like, a lot of things that I've seen here that I cannot understand. And I've never lived this far west. So I'm so happy to be coming back home east, and I'm so glad to be coming back to Connecticut. Let me get that out of the way. So having never lived here, you know, I always wonder whether or not there's going to be a culture shock, but there never is. I just go, you know, people are people, no matter where you go. There are some cultural things that I wouldn't expect. Like I've been to flea markets here where, you know, let's just say there's a lot of piñatas. There's a lot of them, and it's like everywhere. So I'd never seen this many piñatas in my life, but they are everywhere, and it's an industry. And I get it. But the thing that I really found amazing, one day the wife and I are driving, and we're not going to our usual Target. We're going in the opposite direction of where we normally go. And we're driving to the Target, and we stop at a light, and I'm looking over to my right, and I see a guy with a tent that's up. And it's a tent, and you would see it like a flea market or whatever, like an outdoor flea market, just one of those things. But it's in a parking lot. And there's a sign up that says AC repair, air conditioning repair, at a tent in a parking lot of a strip mall. And it's right there by the road. And I look and I say to Roseanne, that's odd. You could just pitch a tent and start a business. And sure enough, several times as we drove by, the guy, same place, every day, right there. Then I start going everywhere else. And sure enough, as I'm driving around, people just pitching up a tent in an abandoned lot or whatever it is and just putting piñatas everywhere, stuffed animals everywhere, clocks, wood, everything, just putting it out on the street. So I started asking around, can you just do that? Like no matter what it is, like we're talking about a parking lot of another establishment or a group of establishment. Can you just pop tent right there and with your business? And they looked at me and said, yeah. Like I was the weirdo. And so it sort of dawned on me that said, damn, like Texas has got no excuse. Those people had no excuse. They said to themselves, I can panhandle or I can just set up shop everywhere. We're not talking about, police are not coming by, asking you for a permit. Do you have a permit to be here? Nothing. They drive by and let them pitch wherever they are. And they're there daily, every day. I've seen the same guy for 2 years selling wood. In some cases, they were selling grass. Like, you know, like the patches of grass that you put in your yard. Yeah, that. Just there with a bunch of wheelbarrows. One guy had a wagon. There's like a big giant wagon with a whole bunch of, and they just set up stuff. There's no reason for these people. And I don't know. I never asked if they collect welfare or whether or not they're on the dole or anything like that, but they are entrepreneurs just out in the street. And I can't frown on them. They found a way. Now, when I first saw this, it was when Roseanne and I first visited, well, I say together, she visited here, she used to live here. But when I first visited with her 2, maybe even 3 years ago, we were driving to see her grandmother who just passed away recently. And we stopped, and as we're driving, she says, oh, stop right here. I want to go get one of these sandwiches. And I'd seen that before. I'm from New York. Street meat, I lived off that for years. But this particular intersection was something I'd never seen before. And again, I'm a New York guy. You guys are going to tell me that I'm silly that I've never seen it. Fine, okay. But as we pull over across the street from where this little meat truck was a guy with a big, giant wagon with haystacks just on the corner. To the left of him was a couple of cages with chicken. Just chicken for sale. No eggs, just chicken. So I walk across the street and ask him, I was like, oh, are you selling these? He goes, yes. You want to buy? I went, no. I couldn't get them on the plane. No. So I'm looking at it. Roseanne's looking at me. She goes, yes, people sell chicken on the street corners. That's unheard of where I come from. But even though I'm looking at this again like a fish out of water, in my heart, I said to myself, this is exactly what you're supposed to be able to do. It just is. Now, I've been in New York where I've seen, and this isn't to be racial or prejudice, but I've seen it. The Africans will be there on Fifth Avenue. They put a sheet on the floor, and they're sitting there with every knockoff watch you could think of. And I remember in a lot of ways frowning at that. Why? Because one of those sons of a gun tried to sell me a Bulova watch in a Bolivia box. I don't know, but or was it a Bolivia watch in a Bulova box? I don't know, but whatever it was so bootleg. But I was annoyed that they were just selling cheap knockoffs. But I get it. Now, those guys in a heartbeat in New York City, the cops would roll up, and those guys would have to scoop up their stuff and go book it. They had to run because you couldn't do it in the streets. But truthfully, think about it. If you gave people the opportunity to be that kind of entrepreneur in the right place and allowed those folks to just set up shop and make their money, imagine how much money you'd save. Just taxpayers. And if they, you don't have to even give them a permit, but at least if they're selling, let the market decide. If they're selling dirty toys that are broken, no one will buy them. It's the same way that they do, yard sales and things like that. People make some extra money doing that. I just don't see anything wrong with it. So again, I found that interesting in Texas, but that's, and people, again, they're there every day and they make a decent buck. We've seen kids come into the restaurant, which again, I also find amazing. We've been inside of a restaurant and the kids would walk in and they'd have a tray full of Mexican candies and treats, selling them. And sure enough, the owners and the waitresses will let the kids go in and solicit. Unheard of where I come from. Those kids would have been run out of town, but they do it in Texas. I was having dinner with Roseanne's dad, and he made me eat paella, the hottest and most exhausting food I've ever had in my entire life. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, a mariachi band just walked in and just started playing. No one said a word. People applauded. They played about 3 or 4 songs. People gave them some tips and let them go. Now, I know, like a lot of places, that may be weird. Some people may even call it intrusive. But that's the kind of world, to be honest with you, that's the kind of world I want to live in, where people innovate. They find the thing that they're passionate about or the thing that they can make some money off of and be self-sufficient. There's a freedom in that a lot of people don't understand. Probably because they find it a little awkward, like I did. But I'm just looking at it a certain way. That's, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. Let's take the calls. 860-522-WTIC. Let's go to Dave in Bristol. Hello, sir.
Reese, you're amazing. I know you like music,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Have you ever listened to the band called Rush?
Yeah. Yes, and I don't get it. I'm sorry. It's so bad. People get mad at me. I don't get it. I don't get the interest. And it might be me, because people say that they're a progressive band, and I go, what does that mean? Maybe I need that explained to me.
All right. I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
Look up the album called Hemispheres.
Okay.
You could skip like the first round, but go to 2 and 3. Just listen to that album.
Okay. I want to try really bad because my friends who are my friends, when they hear that I don't like Rush, they kind of like they're at the brink of disowning me. They really get mad.
No. I'm going to give you a pass on this.
Okay.
But the first song you got to listen to is Circumstances. And
Okay.
that was what you were talking about today.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Okay.
I'm trying to thread it in.
Okay,
And
I will give them. Listen to me. I'll do this because tonight I got to do some other research on some other music. But you know what? I will definitely take some time and listen to that album and give it a shot. I'll tell you this: if I can concede anything, I had a girlfriend who played the Rolling Stones all the time, and I never gave them. I never gave them an opportunity. And then one day, listening in my car, I was listening to the Rolling Stones. A song came on. I didn't have any control over it. It just popped on. And then all of a sudden, another Rolling Stone song came on, and then I was hooked. So that's what I need. I need an opportunity to sit down and give it a chance, and then maybe I will have a respect for them I didn't have before. I just need mature ears. That's all.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I know you love music.
I know, and I thank you for that. I appreciate you. Let me get some other folks in here. Thank you, man. Let's go to Jeff in Marlboro. How are you, Jeff?
Hey, I'm not doing too bad. How about you, buddy?
I'm good, sir. Hey.
Been a little while.
I know. I was about to say, hey.
Hey,
Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, goodness gracious. We lost him. Call back, Jeff. I promise. Let me go to Leroy. Hello, Leroy.
Hey, Reese. What's going on, man?
Pretty
How
good,
you?
man. I want to say, you know what I want to say when I saw your name? I want to go, Bruce Leroy.
That's right.
What's up, big guy?
I'm the one beat show enough. That's right.
What's up?
Hey, listen. I only agreed with you one time, and that was the comment you just made about the people selling stuff on the streets and doing that, and you didn't have a problem with it. And I had to call and let you know, man.
Yeah,
I don't agree with nothing you say, but that comment right there.
Well, you know what? A clock is right, at least. A broken clock is right twice a day, right? I can get something right. Leroy, I appreciate you listening, even though you disagree.
Listen, you know your name. I have a name for you. You Uncle Ruckus.
Hey, listen to me.
Right.
Uncle Ruckus ain't the racist, ain't the bigot in that show. You ever seen them two little boys? They are the worst.
Yeah.
They are the worst.
Yeah.
They far worse
yeah.
than Uncle Ruckus.
I just had to tell you that, man.
Leroy,
Thank you, man.
I appreciate it, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, let me get to, do I have time for one more? Let me see if I can get John in here for a minute. What's going on, John?
Hello, Mr. Reese. How are you?
I am pretty good, sir. What's up?
It's my first time calling, and I'm actually calling on the music. I'm actually running for town council as a Republican in West Hartford, but I'm actually calling to help out, I hope, on the music front, if we can take a moment.
Yes.
With that.
And is this about the Rush thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So-
I'll put it to this
so-
way, John, because I want you to get an opportunity to get this out. I got a really, really hard break coming up, and you'd only have 30 seconds to do that. I want to have this exchange with you, and I got Jeff back as well. I promise you, I will give you complete, a run of the course if you hold on for me. Can you do that?
You got it, man.
All right, thank you. Hold on. We'll get to John. We'll get to Jeff. Thank you, Jeff, for calling back. I'm sorry that we got cut off, but we'll get to that and so much more when we return. And plus, if you got phone calls, give them to me at 860-522-WTIC. When we return, also, aside from the phone calls, I'm probably going to play this in what had happened was. What Andrew Cuomo said on The View was really interesting, and I want to play that clip today about Mom Donnie, so stand by for that. Let's get some weather and traffic and the news in. Dave Mager's in for John Silva. Bob Larson's got weather, and Mark Christopher. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into
You're clear.
Westbound
Thank you,
side
sir.
of 84. Look for slow traffic as you move through the tunnel. 48 out to 44 Prospect Oakwood. 84 eastbound slowing a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 91 southbound a little slow in Windsor. 36 to 35. Again, 27 to 28 in Hartford. If you are northbound, 91 is a little slow in Wallingford. Getting by exit 15 from an earlier problem. After that, 91 northbound moving well Cromwell up into Windsor. If you're traveling 291 384, that looks good. 2 eastbound's a little slow by exit 3 in East Hartford. 9 northbound, look out for an accident between exit 22 and 23 in Middletown. That's taking out the right lane. Delays are back to exit 22 behind that. If you're traveling into Waterbury, westbound 84 delays 25A to the Mixmaster. 84 westbound in Farmington slows from 36 to 33 in the 72 interchange in Plainville. And if you're traveling southbound on the Parkway, delays 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Weather continues across the area, and this is expected to last through the day tomorrow. Will stay sunny the rest of this afternoon with a high of 83. Historical average high temperature today is 68. Tonight clear after a warm and pleasant evening, cooling down to an overnight low of 58. Very warm weather again tomorrow. Some sunshine followed by increasing afternoon clouds. Breezy tomorrow afternoon, high 81. Turning out mostly cloudy tomorrow night. Warm and humid with a couple of showers in the area late at night. Low 64. Not as warm Wednesday. Periods of rain into the early afternoon. The rain can lead to poor visibility and slow travel during the morning commute. Lingering clouds later Wednesday with a high temperature of 68 degrees and much cooler Wednesday night. The sky's clear, dropping to a low of 43. Sunday with a cool breeze on Thursday, definitely feeling more like fall with a high of 62 and cold enough for potential frost Thursday night into Friday morning. Sunny and cool on Friday, high 64. I'm Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
And now, a WTIC news update.
79 degrees at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Illinois and the city of Chicago are in court trying to stop President Trump from sending National Guard troops to Chicago. Governor J.B. Pritzker.
He clearly has decided to declare war on a great American city that has the lowest homicide rate in 60 years, in a state that has record employment and near record tourism.
The suit comes after a judge for a second time blocked the deployment of troops to Portland, Oregon. The government shutdown continues with no breakthroughs in the standoff. President Trump, though, this afternoon striking an optimistic tone.
I will say this, just hang in there because I think a lot of good things are going to happen. That's all I can say. I mean, I think a lot of good things could happen, and that could also pertain to health care.
Democrats looking to extend health care subsidies. Trial underway in Bridgeport for Costa Diamantis, the former state budget official. The federal prosecutor says he used his position to accept bribes from school construction contractors. The defendant's former brother-in-law was on the stand all day. He's a contractor who says Diamantis sent voicemails and texts demanding money. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 63 points, S&P up 24, the NASDAQ up 161. Sports, the baseball playoffs, Game 2, Dodgers in Philadelphia, the Cubs in Milwaukee, and Monday Night Football, Kansas City at Jacksonville. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So my sandwich shop was opening in a week, and I needed signage.
A week is plenty of time to panic.
I went to Staples. They printed banners, posters, and flyers to promote my grand opening.
All in time for your grand closing.
Nope, I had it same day. I even got $125 off my order.
Holy onions! For all your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. In-store and online, same day if ordered by 12 p.m. Into 11/1, exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
House stealing. It's a nightmare that's real. It's the FBI's term for thieves stealing your home's title and draining your equity. Just one fake document filed with a recorder, and scammers can own your home on paper, drain your equity, and do it all without you even knowing. Imagine waking up to a foreclosure or eviction notice. Listen to former title thief Matt Cox.
What people don't realize is the ease in which this crime can happen. I can take the deed to your house and I can transfer that deed into my name. It's a great crime, and it's happening all the time.
So how can you stop the nightmare and protect yourself? Find out if you're already a victim now at HomeTitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO and get a 30-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, a title scan, and access to a title specialist, a $250 value. Don't wait. Go to HomeTitleLock.com now, promo code RADIO.
1 minute.
Unbelievable amount of money to the
Thank you, sir.
IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840.
10 seconds.
2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
City Hall Adam just sent me Working Man by Rush. He goes, this will get you pumped. I'm trying, folks. I am trying. It's like I've listened. I've heard, what is this song? I've heard at least two. I've heard two songs. The guy I used to be on the radio with when I first got on the radio, he was a huge Rush fan. He was like the most important band in the world to him. And he asked me all the time, do you like Rush? I'm like, no. And it's not my fault. And, and another group that people wanted me to get into was Yes. And I only know one song by Yes. And of course, it's Owner of a Lonely Heart. Not my Pink Floyd, another one. And people have been trying to get me into Pink Floyd since I was a kid. I can remember 7 years old, maybe 8 years old. And I was at a summer camp, a sleepaway camp. Yes, exactly. Tom Sawyer and the Spirit of the Radio. Anyway, but I was at a summer camp, a sleepaway camp. It wasn't really like a camp. You stayed with a family in Boontown, New York. And I was staying with that family. It was the first time I ever had deer meat. And I'm there, and I was hanging out at these kids' house that the parents had taken me over to sort of get around kids my age. And they were like, me being from Hollis, Queens. And they say to me, hey, have you ever heard of rock music? And I'm like, yeah, I know what it is. And they're like, have you ever heard of Pink Floyd? And I'm like, they were saying it to me like they were going to tell, like they were showing me something seedy. And I'm like, no, who are they? And it just start playing it. Of course, everybody else is doing air guitar and the whole nine. And I'm listening to it. I'm 8. I'm 8. There's no way I'm going to understand Pink Floyd. And I just remember listening to that and just saying to myself, okay, maybe not my cup of tea. It wasn't. I grew up with the Commodores. I grew up with the Whispers. I grew up with Slave. Okay. All right. Before you say anything, okay, there was a real R&B group called Slave. Okay. Don't make any puns. I know it's there. Stay away from it. I didn't come up with the name. That's the name of the group. Okay. It took me until I was a teenager before I ever knew who Rod Stewart was. Okay. Elton John, Genesis. And I'm telling you, I knew the difference between the Peter Gabriel Genesis and the Phil Collins one. I grew up with all of that stuff. I just didn't know a lot of these bands. Just the rock stuff. I didn't know Iron Maiden, Black Sabbath. I knew none of that stuff. I didn't. Bad Company, 38 Special. I know who they are now. I just knew nothing about them. Let's get to weather and traffic. And somebody who knows about these songs more than I do, Mark Christopher. He's at the BPS Traffic Center. There you go. A little bit of Slave. I was just listening to this song yesterday, Mark. Literally.
Were you really?
Just listening to this song yesterday. That was the reason why it came to mind.
Just a touch of love, baby.
Such a great record. Oh, the 12 inch is amazing.
I hear that bass slapping there.
Exactly.
Nice. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the eastbound side of I-84. Look for
You're clear.
about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue up to 46 Sisson Avenue. Westbound 84 slows tunnel out to exit 44 Prospect Oakwood. If you're southbound 91's a little tight down by exit 27 and 28. Northbound 91 moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound's a good ride. Glastonbury into Marlboro. 9 northbound, look out for an accident between 22 and 23. In Middletown, right lane's blocked there. Delays are approaching 22 behind that. Westbound 84 into Waterbury is running slow. 26 in Cheshire up to the Mixmaster. If you are heading southbound on the Parkway, delays approaching 50 into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound, look for slow traffic from 46 down to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Things clear tonight. Certainly pleasant and warm as we start this evening. Cooling down to a low of 58 by daybreak. Another warm day coming up tomorrow. Sunshine to start. Cloud cover will begin to increase later in the afternoon. Wind will turn breezy. High 81. Average high this time of year is 68. Warm and actually fairly humid tomorrow night. A couple of late night showers. Low 64. Some more showers in the area on Wednesday. Some of the rain could be heavy at least before noon on Wednesday. It'll be cooler with the wet weather. High 68. We'll see sunny, breezy, and cooler Thursday with a high of 62. Right now it is 79 degrees at East Hartford. It's 78 in Unionville, 79 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $125 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. NC11-1. Plus, save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
Dreaming of a perfect smile? At Columbia Dental, our orthodontic experts specialize in braces and clear aligners like Invisalign. Get the smile you've always dreamed of. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
If you want thick, healthy, gorgeous hair, then you need Hair Volume from New Nordic. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and newnordicusa.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
Brian Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, if you're dealing with joint pain, whether it's arthritis or injury, and you're sick of it and you're not doing anything about it, well, you might want to just pick up the phone because QC Kinetics might be the answer for you. You can get long-lasting relief without drugs, without surgery. They use regenerative medicine that basically revitalizes your joints using growth factors from your own body. That's right, whether it's back, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever it is, they can get you lasting relief. And get this, when you follow up with them, that consultation is totally free. So you go in there, learn if it's right for you, bring your MRIs, bring your x-rays, and at the end of that, you've learned something about yourself, and you might find out that QC Kinetics is the solution you've been looking for. Give them a call right now, 860-440-PAIN. Again, it's 860-440-PAIN. They have locations
10 seconds.
near you. Avon, New Haven.
My bad.
Like I said, that first consultation,
how soon?
Totally free, risk-free.
Just 1 minute now.
860-440-PAIN.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
To get this special radio offer, go to leaffilter.com/deal.
Now 10 seconds.
inspection today and get up to 30% off. That's
Thank you.
leaffilter.com/deal for up to 30% off. leaffilter.com/deal. See representative for warranty details. The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I will tell you that I really, really do. I appreciate everybody who wants me to just expand my music knowledge. I do, because I was the same guy growing up when my friends only listened to hip hop and R&B. All I wanted them to do was to listen to the bands I was listening to. And my music of choice was new wave. So, I was listening to Echo and the Bunnymen, the Smiths, Psychedelic Furs, OMD. I was listening to all of them, and I wish my friends would have listened to them. They're like, this stuff is garbage. That's like, okay, Susie and the Banshees, So I totally get it. So I appreciate it. Everybody's like, you have no idea what you're missing. I get it. I believe you. All right, let me go back to John. John, so what you were trying to educate me, if you will, on Rush, what am I missing here? What should I...
No. Actually, I am completely in the wrong because I listened to your brief comments during the break.
Okay.
So, no, I'm definitely not trying to talk you into liking or not liking something. I was trying to just give something relatable. But, boy, you hit on the head. Now, you're a New York guy, aren't you?
I was born and raised in New York, yes.
So do you know what the airline was when I say that? Talking about Echo and the Bunnymen and some of the other new wave stuff? 92.7 LIR. You remember that?
32. Yes, of course. Absolutely. So when anybody mentions...
I'm sorry?
No, I was going to say, when anybody mentions the LIR, I go, oh, goodness gracious. That's an old one.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's, I don't know how old you are, and I would never ask, but it's when you started talking about the new age stuff, I said, oh, okay, and I know he's from New York. He's probably an airline guy, so I gotta go there. But no, I was just gonna throw some other stuff out regarding Rush.
Okay.
Certainly not trying to convince you to like.
Oh, no. I meant that tongue in cheek. It's like, of course I should listen to the band. Knowing 2 songs from the band is not really giving it a shot. And the only reason why I know those 2 songs is because they were kind of forced upon me. So I had to listen to them every day when I worked in radio. So I never really gave it a shot because I said, they're not my cup of tea. I tried to listen to them. I never really put any real effort in it. But that was the same case it was with the Rolling Stones, and that's one of my favorite bands today.
So you do like some rock. So here's what's so sad about music, the way music is produced today, and I'm not talking about lyrics, I'm not talking about the artists.
Right.
But back in the 1970s, you'd go to the store, you go to Woolworth, and you'd buy for $6.99 or whatever, you'd buy an album.
Yep.
And let's use Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. And you'd go home and you'd put the needle down on side A and you'd listen to it straight through side A, side B. And it was like a cathartic experience because the artists were so smart that they developed and wrote the music to be conveyed on a vinyl record. And even CDs don't convey it that way. So the only thing I would try to convince you to do is, if you do ever decide to sit down and listen to music, is sit down with Dark Side of the Moon's a great example, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, anything by then. I call it the art rock period. The progressive I thought was later, but it's the art rock period. But where these songs, these albums were designed to be listened from beginning to end. In Chicago, on their first album, if you want to hear a great album,
Someone's already mentioned that somebody mentioned that in one of the chat rooms. You know what I found interesting? What you just said, what was interesting, and I, as you're talking, I'm finding myself traveling back in time. And I know that you will absolutely, as many people listening to me will agree with. As you described, getting that album and bringing it home and putting the needle down on that record, the immediate thing that I would do, no matter what the artist was, no matter what the genre was, my favorite part was listening to the album and reading the liner notes along with it. That was, and that's the experience, is that you were getting to know the music. And you wanted to know everything about it. Who played on this? If there was a guest appearance by an artist, you knew who it was, right? And recognizing
there was no featuring so and so.
Right, it wasn't even
then.
on there. You actually had to listen to recognize somebody in there. Knowing that, I remember when I read that Sting is singing on Money for Nothing. Like that to me was just like, I know I recognize that voice. So it's like when you recognize the voice and then you read it and you find out that he's on it and you just go, I knew it. And that is sort of like it is an out-of-body experience in music. Nothing else matters and nothing else exists in that moment when you're listening to your favorite band, especially when they're coming out with new music.
Song "You're So Vain," right, by Carly Simon.
Yes.
Listen to that, and you'll hear your guy Nick's voice in it towards the end.
That's right. Yeah, that's my again one of my favorite things. That Steve Winwood song, "Bring Me a Higher Love." Not one of my favorite Steve Winwood songs, but Shaka Khan. You don't you hear it and you go, why does that sound like Shaka Khan? Because it is, and it's like never really got any credit for it.
And I'm definitely I know I don't want to take up your whole show here, but I'm definitely a '70s soul guy as well. So you mentioned a few of those bands. I was like, oh man, they're the best. So, love the '70s soul and funk. And I even I'll confess, I'll probably lose interest here, but lose interest in this call. People lose interest in me, I should say. Disco. I like disco.
You know what? Look, disco may have had its last hurrah in the 1970s, but you know what? If you're out dancing with your friends or at a party and somebody throws a disco record on that you might recognize and a popular disco song, you might be inclined to dance. It's not completely hated music. Thank you, man. I appreciate you holding on for me.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it, sir. Now let's get back to Jeff. Thanks for holding on, Jeff. What's up, buddy?
Yeah, so the conversation just got a little longer, but I'm going to try and keep it short.
That's okay. What's up?
And keep it short. Rush, just my recommendation is I wouldn't waste my time unless you like mediocre rock and roll with a guy who breaks in falsetto once in a while. But
you are the meanest person ever. Do you know how many people are going to be shouting in the chat room right now? They are shouting at them.
I'm feeling it already.
Well, go on. I'm sorry.
You also mentioned here's going to be another shout. Listening to OMD, I admit it. I loved OMD back in the day. They were great.
I thought it was, for me, it was just my teenage years, and any songs that were about teen angst was just my cup of tea. That's all.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Yeah.
And you can still listen to it today.
That's right.
The other thing that really had me laughing is unrelated to the music. You were talking about, people selling junk on the streets in New York City, like,
Yes.
Okay? I'm 12 years old, okay? I go to New York City for a field trip. There's guys, we're going to see the Statue of Liberty. There's guys selling stuff. They open up, this is straight out of a movie, I swear to God. They open up their coats. It's like a showroom.
Oh, yes. That was popular. Opening up your coat, and you had watches and all types of other things lining the inside of the coat. That was not just television. That's real life, folks. He's not lying.
I thought that was a joke.
People thought that was a television thing or a made-up Hollywood thing. No, that was movies and television got that for real life. That's how people carried around their wares.
Then all my friends, they're spending their mom's money on fake watches. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to go to McDonald's. You know what I mean?
That was some serious stuff back in the days, man. Those, and they were tourist attractions. Just walking by, guy opening up his coat, say, "Hey, man, you want some watches?"
It was just like that. It was like a cliche,
Oh yeah, absolutely, my friend. Thank you.
All right, well, thanks for the memory, man. That was funny.
You got it, man. Thank you. There used to be this comedian in Washington Square Park. He used to tell this thing. He says, I would walk through Washington Square Park, and I think that everybody there thought they knew my name. And it was like, yeah. It was like, yeah. When I was walking by, people walk by, go, smoke. I'm like, no, I'm Jason. He goes, smoke. Selling weed. Let's go to Stephen in Waterbury. What's up, Stephen?
Well, I sent you a few things about the keyboard player from Yes.
Yes.
There's he used to do rock operas. There's one called Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You just listen to the story, and he plays the keyboard and everything. It's done very well. You can almost imagine, seeing it in your mind. I'm going to send that to you later on. But
Okay.
I'm going to say that music appreciation, it's like we get used to what we hear. And you'd be surprised of all the band members that would play with all their gentras and stuff like that. And you may not know, like you mentioned Carly Simon before.
Yeah.
I knew a girl that actually got introduced. She was a backup singer for Carly and a bunch of other people. But she was dating the guy who was a keyboard player for both the Tower of Power and Hall & Oates.
Really? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yep. I can't remember his name offhand, but he does a good solo thing. I'll send something to you about that later on, too.
Okay. You got it. Thanks, man. Let me get last one in here. Doug is calling in East Hampton. Hello, sir.
Hello, Reese. Good afternoon, sir.
What's
Pleasure to
going
speak
on?
with you.
My
Hey,
pleasure.
I just wanted to make a quick call to you. I love all genres of music. I'm 67. My dad liked classical music. I played an instrument, brass. I played the trombone. I cannot recommend highly enough Chicago and Chicago Transit Authority before their guitar player, Terry Kath, passed away.
I will tell you,
Chicago
Chicago is a really, really big influence to a lot of alternative hip-hop groups growing up. One in particular, my favorite band, De La Soul, loved Chicago.
Wow. That's very interesting to know because Chicago had, obviously had the guitar, the bass player who was Peter Cetera. They had the drummer, but they also had a saxophone and clarinet player, a trumpet player, and a trombone player.
Let me ask you something. Speaking of Peter Cetera, just because people like Chicago, I don't think I've ever asked this question, but I'm glad I'm getting the opportunity to now. Did people feel like Peter Cetera abandoned the band when he went crazy top 40?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, did people not like him for that?
I'm sure a certain group of people liked the fact that they went into more pop type music.
Yeah.
But he had a phenomenal voice. He sang a lot of backup when Terry Kath was singing lead. And Terry Kath was one of the best guitar players of all time. He was Jimi Hendrix's hero.
Yeah.
But he was I just can't even describe it. I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this, how good they are and were before he passed away in a very unfortunate gun accident.
Yeah.
But I could listen to that stuff. I literally have been up at like midnight just channel surfing, and I'm like, I'm going to listen to Chicago. And the Live at Tanglewood is an unbelievable concert.
It is, everything. I'm telling you, they are cross-culture as a band. Chicago was very influenced. People fail to realize it, but they were incredibly influential in and again, I consider that my generation because I had a lot of alternative hip-hop in the late 80s and the early 90s, and Chicago played a huge role in the sampling era. For some of the the samples and the use of their instrumentation, if you will, on records. So that's how I got to know them, so to speak.
And I can completely understand that because after Terry Kath passed away, they continued along the rock, the kind of the rock lines. But then when Peter Cetera actually became the leader of the band, they went. Kath passed away, I think, in the mid '80s, and Peter Cetera, picked up where he left off. But took them in a completely different direction.
It's sort of like the same thing with Kool and the Gang when they got J.T. Taylor, Yes. It's like they immediately they hit the top 40 stride and there was no stopping them because, that's where all the record sales are, and that's all the radio players.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to, if I could recommend anything you do for the next couple hours in your life, you got a couple free hours, listen to Chicago and Chicago Transit Authority with Terry Kath.
You got it. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
I love you, Reese. I'll do it every single day.
Thank you, man. Much pleasure. Much pleasure.
Take care.
I'm always fascinated by you folks and how much you guys love music. That's near and dear to me when you're always introducing the other stuff. I always think it was like, wow, you guys really, really love the music stuff. Love it. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And all of you who are mad at Jeff about the Rush comment, I'm I'm going to get Jeff his own email address so you can send your anger and complaints to. Jeff, the next time you call, you're going to have to give your telephone number. Well, at least figure one out. Anyway, it's time for us to get up out of here. Welcome to your week. We'll see you back here tomorrow. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC and Charlie Kirk in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. You have a good night, a pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here at 2 p.m. mañana. Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center getting you home. Good night, Mark. See you mañana. There you go.
And the show with some De La Soul.
No doubt. Best rap group of all time. Good night.
There you go. Hey, thanks for checking in, Reese.
You're clear. Good show, Reese.
Thank you, man. As always, I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, yes. If I don't talk to you soon, have a good move and safe travels up here.
You got it, sir. Thank you.
32 A and B. If you are traveling on the northbound side of 91, that looks real good. Cromwell through downtown, up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, Bulkley Bridge into the...
All right, everybody. Thank you, Michael A. Same thing with the Doobie Brothers when Michael McDonald took over. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Stanley Jordan was one of the most talented guitarists of all time. Couldn't agree more than that. Even Eddie Van Halen couldn't master his technique. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to check out the website, reesontheradio.com, for those of you who do not know it. And follow me on Substack. You can find that also on reesontheradio.com. And, of course, follow me on X and on Facebook. All right? I love you guys. Be good to each other. See you mañana.